Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to HEX Therapy Live. And we've got a new setup here. So still working out all the bugs. Let me know if there are any problems here. We are upgrading things because HEX is a finished product, but I am not. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing here tonight is looking into emotional intelligence. And this is a topic that's really exciting to me because it's made a big difference in my life, and I hope that it can make a big difference in yours as well. And of course, when we're talking about having diamond hands in HEX, it helps even more to have a diamond prefrontal cortex. And so emotional regulation and emotional intelligence, that's one of the ways that that's possible. Now, I want to thank everybody for helping get my channel over 1,000 followers. We're growing extremely quickly. And so I'm very grateful to you. And as a way to give back, I want to invite you to join me on theta.tv/Matty ALLin, MATI ALLin. And the reason for this is because I think we're going to be able to do HEX badges, which is the reason why I'm in crypto, is to be able to program mental health into money. I think we're going to be able to do it on that platform. And so there are going to be some special giveaways, some things you can only get if you're signed up for one of my first streams there on theta.tv. So make sure to start an account, make sure to get ready for some really amazing things, because I'm more excited than ever about how we're going to be able to do HEX badges for free without any cost, unlike the current system. But they'll still be NFTs. So Theta, I'm going to start up on Saturday. So get ready for that. And again, the URL is there on the screen. It's covered up by another copy of the URL. So let me fix that here. And we're going to work out some bugs, and it's going to be great. I've got some exciting things to share with you today when it comes to emotional intelligence. But first, I wanted to show off a neat new trailer I have. So I've actually got two of them. Here we go. We're going to be kind of setting the mood here for our therapy night. So without any further ado. Okay, I'm excited. Here we go. One more. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for the cheer, Nas Hex. We got Battered Bull. Nice to see you. Nardo, Serena Alonzi. We got Marcavelli, Leaping Leads, Crypto King. What's up? Gubba Bob. Long Live Hex, Mr. Contrarian, Tree of Hex, 8 Hustler 8, Esteban, Maddie Allen, that's me. BG Hex, hey, this is the guy who helped us get our stream key for Theta. So I want to shout out to him and everybody else. Sammy, who's in the chat. And it looks like Unhexable has some blank paper here. Kind of hard to see maybe on this view, but Crypto 303, good to see you there. Crypto Gains Club, welcome. David Morales. Chris, #1 commenter. Welcome, everybody. So good to see you. So let's see, without any further ado, wait, maybe there is more ado. Let me think here. Okay, so Hex, pumping. We had the Quant gang in the house the other day. Let's see, the first Tuesday that we went, we got like 4,000 views already. I think over 3,000 on YouTube. And then we did another stream just this last Tuesday. And what do we, maybe there's 1,000 or 2,000 views already. So people are loving these long streams. These the first one was 8 hours and 10 minutes. Whales only fell asleep on the stream. Kareem and I tried to keep the hype up. Of course we did. And, Whales came back to life right at the end to help us celebrate the end of the 8 hour and 10-minute stream. And then we only streamed for 5 hours, I think, this last Tuesday. So, it's really exciting whenever we all get to learn from each other. And of course, for those of you who are new, Hex is the only blockchain CD that pays 40 to 60% APY. And it's able to do this because Bitcoin went up 45 million X, 4.5 million X, 4.5 million X, 450 million %. And so crypto, it's blowing up. Everybody's FOMOing in. Elon's in there, right? We got Tesla in the house. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. And if we look to see, what's happening, I think the technology companies, they're going to move first. And then today we had the BNBY Mellon Bank got into the game. That's the oldest bank in America, and they're FOMOing in. We got what do we got? PayPal, we got MasterCard, all these different transaction layers. They're going to try to get in, and they're going to try to rent seek. But we're just going to keep using Hex. We're going to keep locking up our money and getting trustless interest, and get those T-shares, right? So let's see here. I've got some screens to share. First one. Very exciting time to be in crypto. Very exciting time, no doubt. Okay, so this is, let's see, this is from Richard Hart Wynn, the founder of Hex. And I just wanted to correct something I said the other day. You guys, sometimes when I'm on stream, I'm not necessarily nervous, but there's just a lot of distractions. There's a lot going on. The other day I said something like Richard, he, what did I say? I said that he, something about Bitcoin, and it was false. Like, you know, Richard, he's always winning. And so Bitcoin is no exception. I think what I was trying to say is that he had a vision for Bitcoin that Bitcoin never achieved. And so he ended up translating that into HEX. And so whatever I said the other day on Quant Gang, that was not what I meant. Okay. Moving on. I'm not sure. Okay. I feel like sometimes Richard and I are on the same wavelength. And sometimes we are, right? Because I don't know, great minds think alike. And because like mental health and crypto, they go together more than people may recognize, right? And so I'm not sure if he posted this right before or right after I posted the thumbnail for this stream that we're doing today on emotional intelligence. But he says here, you understand best others' feelings that you felt yourself. Those who have felt less care less from a lack of experience, not malice. Your EQ, or emotional intelligence, is as important as your IQ when it comes to your team and your family. So I like how he wove that together and gave a shout out to the emotional intelligence that we're going to be building here tonight, and to the community, right? Because we're a team, we're a family in HEX, and you know, I'm super impressed by all of the HEX content that's being created. I have to admit, I am you know, consuming a lot of HEX content. You know, I'm no different than the next Hexican when it comes to wanting to learn from everybody. And believe it or not, I just learned how to use the 2x button on YouTube. And so I've been listening to people at twice the speed, consuming twice the content is really great. So I'll try to talk at a medium pace so that you can understand me when you're listening at 2x or 4x or whatever all you smart people do when you're listening to things. Okay, great. So we have a tweet from Richard. So let's see. So what is emotional intelligence, right? My background is in clinical psychology. Shout out to clinical psychology. Shout out to all the lawyers who would try to sue me, but this is not therapy advice. This is not financial advice. I'm going to quote whales only. This is mathematical advice. We love that quote. And so just to let you know, we've got a link in the description below. If somebody is suicidal, then that's where you can go to find for your country. We've got the worldwide list of emergency resources for mental health. So in some places, that's going to be 911. In some places in the United States, it's going to be the suicide hotline. In places all over the world, there are going to be the professionals that you can contact. And, you know, so I hope that's helpful. Let's see here. So like I said, I have a background in clinical psychology. And so I've given IQ tests before, and IQ tests are weird. I kind of do have a criticism of them because you can spend up to 15 hours doing all the different versions of the IQ test that you could give to somebody as a battery. And as it turns out, so let's say that a psychologist measures somebody's intelligence quotient, which is their IQ, and then they measure it again, and the second time it's different. Well, they would say, oh, we didn't measure it right the first time, because it's actually defined as something that can't change. It's a static trait, right? So it's kind of like how they would define somebody's personality as an enduring characteristic. Well, when it comes to emotional intelligence, this is something that is defined as something you can increase, right? And so whereas your intelligence quotient, as defined by psychology, is not a measure of your achievement, it's a measure of your ability. And so they always say that you can't increase your IQ. It's something you have and you're stuck with it. Your emotional intelligence, though, is more predictive. of your success in life. And so that's why it's so cool that your emotional intelligence can be increased. And if you continue to pay attention and listen to this presentation, I believe that you will be able to raise your emotional IQ tonight, right? And the reason for that, hey, Whales Only, hey, Benny, good to see you guys. I told you guys this was distracting. I love it. The reason why you can raise your emotional intelligence tonight is because part of emotional intelligence is emotional awareness, right? And so if you're learning what it is that what it is to be emotionally intelligent and what the proactive behaviors are, that's going to increase your ability to control those behaviors, right? And so that would be called emotional management. So we're going to get into all that. I just forgot. I've got a little preview of what's to come on HEX Therapy, Theta Land TV on when is that? That's going to be on Saturday. We're going to do the first one. Whoa, it's a Maddie badge. Hey. All right. That's the only preview you get. There's already been like 3 previews, so gotta save something for the real show. All right. Let me see here. So we've taken a look at the tweet by Richard. Here we go. Let's get into the emotional intelligence self-assessment. Now, I have to say, I scoured the internet. So I started teaching a healthy relationships class about 4 years ago, maybe 5 now. And at the time when I developed the class, I scoured the internet and I searched far and wide to find what I believe here is the best measure of emotional intelligence. So I took maybe 7 or 8 of the top surveys I was able to find. They're all different. They're all different styles, different measuring formats. But this, I believe, to be is the best one. And so you can find it in the description below. Now you can follow along. You can get out your piece of paper and pencil like somebody else did. That's what I would recommend. Or you can print this out, or you can take a screenshot of it and you can like highlight different parts on the screen. Whatever way is best for you, or you can just listen, right? Or watch. I mean, you could, you could print it out in Braille. Emotional intelligence, referred to as EQ, is your ability to be aware of, understand, and manage your emotions. Why is EQ important? While intelligence, referred to IQ, is important, success in life depends on emotional intelligence. Take the assessment below to learn your EQ strengths. All right, let's see here. Got so many screens. Okay. Rank each statement as follows. Never would be a 0, rarely 1, 2 sometimes, 3 often, and 4 always. Now that this is breaking down into four categories. Let's do an overview real quick. So the first list of 10 questions is your emotional awareness. That's going to be 1/4 of your overall emotional intelligence. And then the second section is emotional management. Again, 10 questions. Next, social emotional awareness, 10 questions. And finally, the last 10 are relationship management. So you can see the 2 themes are management and awareness, and then individual emotions and social emotions. So we'll go through this. I know I was thinking about having a guest and grilling them on their emotional intelligence, but I feel like we can give it a try to follow along, and then we'll take it from there. Again, to relate this back to HEX and investing, like when your emotions get the best of you, or when you're in a state of fear that is generated by the news media all too often, right? Like you might make bad decisions. You might make bad choices for your finances. You might start reading into too much fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the market. And when you think about it, especially in HEX, but also in other cryptos, right? The best way for the whales to get in is to come in and actually make everybody scared. So they sell, they make all the early adopters sell, or anybody who joined in along the way, and then they can buy in cheaper, right? Because, and then they'll sell back to you when the market tops out, and then they'll just keep building their stack, because this is something they think that they can predict, right? They've got AI bots reading your emotions, right? But in HEX, it's a little bit different, because people can lock their money and then improve themselves, right? So keep that in mind. Let's see here. And I'll get back to the questions here, guys, once we get through this. So the first category is emotional awareness. So the first question is, my feelings are clear to me at any given moment. You can rate yourself never, 0, rarely, 1, 2, sometimes, 3, often, 4, always. My feelings are clear to me at any given moment. Right? That goes straight to emotional awareness. Number 2, emotions play an important part of my life. Right? If somebody's disagreeing with this, then it's, according to this test, which is not the only test you could have, but if you're not acknowledging that emotions play an important part in your life, then it's thought that you're not emotionally aware, right? So you could argue, and especially on personality tests, on the Myers-Briggs, you could argue and say, well, maybe I'm more of an introvert in one area, more of an extrovert in others, or you're kind of ambidextrous, especially when it comes to the other personality traits that are on there, which are on a spectrum, such as, let's see, intuitive versus sensing, and then thinking versus feeling, and then judging versus perceiving, right? So in my opinion, you're going to get less lost, or you're going to get less conflicted with the questions on here than you are in other tests, such as the Myers-Briggs personality test, but which is also the 16 personality types. But it's still, be able to argue with anything you want to. Next, third question is, my moods impact the people around me. Are you aware of that? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, or always. Next, I find it easy to put words to my feelings, labeling your emotions. And for that, one of the handouts that I give people, and it comes from therapistaid.com, is a list of emotions, right? Without a list of emotions, you can't raise your emotional vocabulary. And without an emotional vocabulary, it's hard to put your words into feelings. Next one, my moods are easily affected by external events. Again, you could say like, oh, my moods are, I have diamond moods, right? Like my moods don't change based on anything. But again, that would kind of be considered like, well, you're not really aware of how things are. It turns out that people are horrible at predicting their own future emotions, and they're even bad at predicting what emotion they're having now, or knowing and sensing what emotion they're having now. Sometimes, and it's very easy in contrast to understand or to see what mood somebody else is in. And so sometimes people can take that for granted and have a bias there. But when you are honest with yourself and when you're aware, you might notice that your moods are easily affected by external events. And that doesn't mean that you can't manage them, right? It just means that you're aware that that's a thing. I can easily sense when I'm going to be angry. Pretty straightforward. I readily tell others my true feelings, right? If you're keeping them to yourself, that might decrease your awareness of them. I find it easy to describe my feelings. Very similar to one above. Even when I'm upset, I'm aware of what's happening to me. That's a good one, because now when people get emotionally overwhelmed, when they get flooded emotionally, it's very easy for the part of your brain that is controlling fear, anxiety, and anger. That's the amygdala, which it's in the very center of your brain. Your amygdala has wires that go straight to your prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead, and dump inhibitory chemicals on the prefrontal cortex, which makes it hard to think clearly, makes it hard to problem solve, makes it hard to inhibit yourself. The inhibitory control goes down, right? And so that's why people, when they're experiencing anger, they don't think clearly. Some people say that they're seeing red, right? And that's part of that process of the wiring of your brain, right? Now, on the other hand, the prefrontal cortex has wires that go back to the amygdala that can regulate the amygdala activity, but it's very much a case of first mover advantage, so to speak. If you're already angry, then it's too late. Sometimes, I mean, I tell people, I'm very honest. Like, sometimes it's too late if you're already super angry to calm yourself down, which is why when I teach anger management, one of the main things that I teach is that you have to learn how to catch your emotions early, right? And so that's something to keep in mind, and I can go into more as needed. Let's see. I am able to stand apart from my thoughts and feelings and examine them. Ooh, that's a good. I could probably do a whole episode on that. That's a really important part of, I would say, more emotional management. But in this case, I suppose that being aware that you have that ability to manage, that is still going to fall under the category of emotional awareness. So those of you who are following along, playing the game, counting up the points, you are going to have a possibility of 40 points out of these 10 questions. And, for most of these categories, you're not going to be scoring 40 out of 40. Like, if we skip down to the bottom, we can see what the ranges are. And 0 to 24 means that this is an area for improvement. It requires attention and development. A score of 25 to 34 on each section, that is where you're functioning effectively, and you could consider strengthening that area. And then if you have 35 to 40 points out of the 10 items, these are enhanced skills that you can use as leverage to develop weaker areas. Leverage, like, you could go 100x. Good. So, emotional awareness, this is an important skill. Let me see if there are any questions here I can catch in the chat. Oh, wow. Crypto 303. Thanks for the super chat. I feel like that's the first one I've ever seen. Thank you so much. I think that just got turned on. Happy Chinese New Year's Eve to you as well. Ballet Brand, my man. Nardo said, last fight I got in, I remember seeing everyone else's faces just in shock and panic. And I keep that memory so close so I don't make anyone feel like that about me. Very good. One thing I know for sure, Benny says, is the higher your emotional IQ, the easier it is to get along with other people and have other people be more willing to cooperate with you. Good life information here. Absolutely. Yeah. What I usually say in healthy relationship class is that, once you cut out the toxic people in your life, once you work on improving yourself, develop your hobbies and interests, that's really a way to make new friendships that are based on something solid. And, that's what we do here in HEX. I strongly believe it. And when you're more emotionally healthy and you make better choices, then you're going to be attracting healthier people into your life. So if you're out there and you feel like everybody around you is toxic, you might start to believe that that's how people are, that that's how everybody is. But in reality, there are bubbles of people that stick together because they're having similar moods, or they're having the skills to not drag each other down. And so that's good news, right? There are people out there that are emotionally healthy for the most part. Nobody's perfect. But there are people out there, and you will attract them the more you work on yourself. I do believe. Let's see. Can never answer this except in the moment. It's a fair test. Good call. My smart address is ready. Nice. Let's see here. Do I know Sup Daily on Twitch? Also a mental health coach. Wow, that's very, very cool. And you're working with him now. Wow, Crypto King is everywhere. He knows everybody. That's so awesome. If you stake HEX, you win. Keep it simple. There's no reason to invest in 50 other altcoins, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just wanted to, I mean, I had a friend who messaged me, let's see, today. And this is a close friend of mine. He was asking about ADA and short-term gains, whether that would work, and asked me if I was if I was going to invest in it. And I said I'm not, because HEX can go higher faster. You know, you can hold liquid HEX while everybody else time locks if you want to trade, where you can stake and get 40% APY. He was like, hell yeah. So we gotta we gotta help people. We gotta help people understand HEX, because we don't want to be the only ones who are benefiting from this. Let's see. Dr. Moore says that there are no wrong answers in this test. And that's very true. Listen, I have taken this test many, many times. And what I've found is that my score actually goes up and down a little bit based on my level of self-care at the time. And to some extent, when I first found it and then started taking it more, I had an increase, especially in the emotional awareness areas. But I've been fortunate to learn from a number of clients who have taken this as well and gotten to see their changes over time. I usually recommend that people take it maybe every 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 weeks. All right, 3 to 6 weeks, because then you're going to refresh yourself on what to pay attention to. And, we can get really caught up in like, what's the, repeated measures effect and stuff like that. What's the practice effect on this? But really, I think it's got a lot of face validity and external validity because we are talking about emotional awareness. Awareness is the key word. And when you're aware of things, then you're able to manage them better. So it's really, I think, measuring what it's purporting to measure. And so honestly, I tell people, the lower your score is on this, the more really you have a chance to improve. And so scoring low on this is a super good opportunity. It means that you're going to be set for mad gains in your emotional health. Yes. Year of HEX. Thanks for the super chat, Bran. Let's see. Happy Chinese New Year's Eve, everybody says. I think you guys are doing a special stream. Make sure to follow all the other Hexicans on YouTube and Twitch. Crypto Coffee and I are now on Theta. So check us out. Give us a follow. I really appreciate it. It looks like there's already like 13 people who have gotten out there on Theta. They're wanting some like legendary NFTs that are only going to be available to the people who join Theta first. So go ahead and get out there. I've been working really hard on my JPEG game, gang. So get out there and check that out, because we're talking like first edition Pokemon cards, except like crypto, except like HEX badges, which is I don't know. Don't make me choose, right? Like, I'm not giving up my imaginary holographic Charizard first edition mint 10 that I may or may not have, because I haven't checked the collection in my parents' house yet. But I'm not giving that up for some NFT badges. But luckily, the NFT badges are free. All I have to do is show up, You know, that's what Crypto Kool-Aid says. You know, it's all about showing up. Showing up is 95% of the work. So make sure to show up for yourself and show up for me if you can over there on Theta. Gang. PSA 10. That's right. We got PSA 10 NFTs because they're not in physical form. So how could they be flawed, right? Awesome. Let's see. Yes, crypto events. See, cross promotion is the most powerful form of I really think, well, I don't know what other kind of other than self promotion. I mean, you know, self promotion, sure, you know, you have to do it if you're going to promote yourself, but cross promotion is definitely the way to go. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody who's streaming. Like, I'm excited to hear your content. If you're streaming right now, like, I'm probably going to listen to it after I get off here. So make sure to lift up your fellow hexicans. And I know I'm grateful to everybody who's helped promote me and my channel and my dream for crypto to be giving out badges for people getting more and more mentally healthy, right? In the future, it might be like only the people who watch the emotional intelligence IQ, you know, stream, they're the only ones who get a special badge that says emotional IQ badge, right? And like, maybe you have to comment with like what your score was, or I don't know, just comment and say that you took it. And then in the future, we'll be able to get more and more integrated with crypto and with mental health. So I'm so excited. It's a dream come true, you know, because that's what I'm here for is exactly that. Programming mental health into money, and the money is HEX, and the mental health is HEX Therapy. Awesome. Let's go to our next category now, like emotional awareness. All right, you added up your score, and I don't know, just as a side note, I tell people when they fill this out, you know, in real life, I say, it's fine to give yourself half a point. You know, I don't give myself quarter points on this, but if you want to break it down, if you're really on the fence between like sometimes or often, right? Or often or always, you could give yourself a 3.5 out of 4 for that one, or a 2.5, or, you know, don't make me say them all. 1.5, 0.5, right? So that's it's totally possible because you're hand scoring it. There's no funny scoring here. You don't have to count some of the items backwards or anything. These are all behavior positive things. Awesome. Thank you for, or also awesome. Thank you for so many people watching. I'm really pumped up that you all want to hear about emotional wellness and mental health. Emotional management is our second category. Emotional management, come on down. The first item here is I accept responsibility for my reactions. Ooh, that's a good one. I accept responsibility for my reactions. Number 2, I find it easy to make goals and stick with them. Find it easy to make goals and stick with them. I am an emotionally balanced person. That's number 3. I am an emotionally balanced person. I am a very patient person. Patience is a virtue. All right. Next one. I can accept critical comments from others without becoming angry. Ooh, that's a skill. It's going to take self-awareness and self management for a lot of these things, right? I maintain my composure even during stressful times, right? So that takes emotional regulation, right? And there are a number of skills baked into each of these emotional management techniques. And I think, you know, they're going to be coming up on this channel. They're going to be coming up on HEX Therapy. HEX Therapy comes to you live every week, Thursday after HEXO. Check it out. The last one we just said, I maintain my composure, tire wiggle, even during stressful times. Next one. If an issue does not affect me directly, I don't let it bother me. Ooh, that's a good one. So like, you're not getting caught up in everybody else's drama and beef, you know. Good. If an issue does not affect me directly, I don't let it bother me. You can score yourself 0 out of 4 for these. I can restrain myself when I feel anger towards someone. I can restrain myself when I feel anger towards someone. Number 9, I control urges to overindulge in things that could damage my well-being. Okay, so that's the emotional management part that relates to things maybe like substance abuse, right? Or it could be any other addictive behavior or just things that are self-destructive, right? That's an important one that includes all the types of acting out that you could do, right? And then next one, I direct my energy into creative works or hobbies. Ooh, I love that. It tells you just what to do, right? I direct my energy into creative work or hobbies. Excellent. So count them up, score them, add up those 2.5s and 3.5s and 4s and 3s and 2s and 1s and 0s. We're going to sweep back through the list at the end, and we're going to highlight which emotional category has the lowest score overall. And then we're going to identify one item that's a particular strength that you want to use to leverage yourself going forward. And then we're also going to have one particular area of weakness that you want to improve on. So again, another reason why I love this tool compared to all the other ones is here at the end, it's going to give us that prompt to go back and explore, to really have a takeaway, right? To be able to see what is it that you're going to work on this time that you took the test. Pro tip, by the way, thank you very much, SGD, for the super chat. Wow. YouTube's killing it. Let me see here. Pro tip, if you've printed this out or if you're marking it up in your a photo album or whatever digital device you're using, maybe the iPad or the Kindle. If you use different colors every time you take the test, then you're going to see on an overlay how you compare. So that's my favorite way to do it. Or, if you don't have different colors, then you could just do like a dot next to the number. You could like write over the number with a dot, or you could strike it out with a line. You could put a plus over it, right? You could, there's a lot of ways you could mark that separately each time you take this. And again, that's the most powerful way to do this, is to take it once now and then take it again in the future and see how your score increases and on what items. Super interesting to see. When I started doing this a lot, I probably, like I said, I probably took it 3 or 4 times. This person says, "Hey, Maddie, I live in the UK, so I'm really tired. I just wanted to drop in and say thank you for all that you do in the community. And you're going to go get some sleep." Excellent. Get sleep. Take care of yourself. This stream will still be here when you wake up. Unless we say something horrible and profane and YouTube takes it down, but then I'm pretty sure it'll still be on some other platforms. So don't worry. Don't FOMO too hard into this stream. It'll be around for you. And El Hexidente, what's up? Good to see you. Sammy says, it sure is a skill. And Crypto Vince is out there. Tarn Wig, your score is salty or something. That's good. Nardo filled out a couple. Wales is working on charts that he's going to be dropping shortly. We all love that. That's going to be your reward at the end of the day for filling out your emotional intelligence test and following me on Theta. Ooh, we could get some ASMR if my voice was a little bit smoother. I think the mic helps out a lot. This is your ASMR. who failed? I don't know. Again, really, how are you going to fail an emotional test that is designed to make your emotional IQ go up? Let's see. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Year of the bull run for Hex. I love it. I think you're right. I'm not going to lie. People also have been shouting out to the last Hex Gang stream in the Hex Telegram group. If you're not on there, t.me/Hex Crypto. And I really appreciate that. When people leave positive comments, it really supercharges all of us, right? Those of us who are content creators, I think everybody would relate and say, when you esteem us, or when you say positive things, like that keeps us going. And that allows us to be supercharged and to continue making the type of content that is hopefully helpful for you. Looks like I got way too many theta.tv/Maddie ALLins on the screen. I'm just going to take this away. There we go. Very good. Yes, the community is second to none. That is right. Boom. Spot on. Referring to constructive criticism is a skill. Okay, very good. Very good. As you guys can see, I'm going back and forth between the test and the comments. So it's helpful to know which item you're talking about. Mic is top. Boom. Sounds like a mic straight out of a movie studio. Cool. Yeah. What other community does this? Excellent point. Smash the like button and subscribe. Yay. Oh, you guys are pumping me up. All right, let's do it. Let's get back in here. What's the next category? Social, emotional awareness. Come on down. All right. Again, 10 items. Like cue the suspenseful music, right? I mean, I'll be able to do that at some point. I just got into OBS. I have been operating this whole time outside of OBS. I just got a PC. I haven't had a PC in like 12 years or something. So like, good things are going to happen. I'm sure of it. Awesome. Great. So social emotional awareness. Where are my mods at? Let's see. All right. Social emotional awareness. Come on down. Again, you can score 0 to 4. What's up, Toby1? Hey, thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, the items here. First one, I consider the impact of my decisions on other people. I consider the impact of my decisions on other people. Number 2, I can easily tell, that might be a typo. I can easily tell if the people around me are becoming annoyed. Maybe it's let's see. Maybe that's like a test. Maybe that's a meta test of like, are you getting annoyed with the typo or not? Right? It's like in the list of like ADHD symptoms, there's one that's like, do you interrupt people before they finish asking the question? Right? And so it's like, it's pretty good. Pretty good to tell. Let's see. So the third one is, I sense it when a person's mood changes. Again, this is going back to your awareness socially. So your awareness of other people and their emotions. Next one, I am able to be supportive when giving bad news to others. I am able to be supportive when giving bad news to others. Next, I am generally able to understand the way other people feel. Are you generally able to understand the way other people feel? My friends can tell me intimate things about themselves, right? That's a test right there. My friends can tell me intimate things about themselves, right? That gets to a level of trust. Are you aware that people are able to tell you, right? It genuinely bothers me to see other people suffer. I feel like that's a tough one because I think a lot of times when you're in a helping profession, at least for me, you want to have boundaries, right? So you really care about other people's suffering. But if you start to care too much, then it can lead to, your own suffering and stuff. And so, there takes a level of, I think, tolerance of this is how much I can help somebody today. Right. And then it feels really good when you can help somebody and you're honest with yourself about how much you can help them. Just believing, I should be able to help them all the way just in one day, right? Like you can't always change people's lives overnight. It's great when you can. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to omega-3, by the way. That's not overnight, but that's something that really changes people's lives. I usually know when to speak and when to be silent. All right, that's a good one when it comes to your emotions. I usually know when to speak and when to be silent. We're gonna get to the chat. Some funny stuff there. I usually know when to speak and when to be silent. I care what happens to other people. Good. Do you care about what happens to other people? Finally, I understand when people's plans change. That's a good one too. So I'm not gonna have a personal story for each of these, I think, but for some of them, I am gonna be able to kind of dive a little bit deeper and give some concrete examples or some examples of some skills that people can have, right? When it comes to, but I think when it comes to your social emotional awareness, I like this skill too. Like I'm noticing now that we're going over them, that it seems like they almost kind of lead into the management part. Like somebody created this list and then they ranked them almost like how much management it takes. Because in the last category, we found one like right at the end that seemed like very management oriented, to be able to stand apart from my thoughts and feelings and examine them. So that seems kind of management oriented, and then it's a nice transition, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay. I understand when people's plans change, right? So those are the 10 items on social emotional awareness. How did you do? How'd you score? Hopefully we're going to be able to find some items here where you can improve, and some items where you have strengths. Great. Let's go ahead and see what we got in the comments. Let's see. Somebody's fiending for charts. They're so addicted to the chart talk that the 8 hours last week and the 6 hours this week on my channel, it wasn't enough for them. They're demanding whales, whales, whales. And then they're like, somebody else is like, Kareem, yeah, right? Like, I could do chart analysis. Like, I have no problem with that. So, yeah, we'll get there. I'll do a little bit at the end. How about that? Gotta make sure you don't get the shakes, whenever you're getting so addicted to my content. So, no worries. Well, we're going to take care of you, Salami. Let's see. Love your work, Maddie. Thank you. People are shouting out to Toby. Nice to see you. Am I an advocate on the 16 personality test? I sure do know a lot about it. Do I advocate for it? I think it's particularly helpful for certain types of people. And so I would recommend checking it out if that's your thing. And maybe we'll have an episode about that, or maybe we'll have a segment about it because again, I know so much about it. I think that I could provide some value there. Those are the Myers-Briggs 16 personality types. I don't know if I should tell you my personality or let you guess. Probably let you guess when we do the segment. How about that? Let's see. Crypto 303 likes the test too. He's a very smart, funny guy. So I appreciate you being here in the chat. Let's see. Oh, wow. Brand has been working in the freezing cold weather. So Toby wants to warm him up. Let's see. People. Yeah. So Elon bought his baby some Dogecoin. So he says on Twitter, which is a place where people twit about things. And so you can't believe everything you hear on Twitter, except crypto Twitter, mostly from Hexkins. Mostly I would trust. But Elon, I feel like he did it only, like I believe that he actually did it, first of all. Second of all, I believe that he did it just so he can make the tweet, toddler hodler. Okay? That's the reason he did it. Now, he didn't say how much he bought for his baby that's named like X or something. Very cool name for a kid. Let's see. Somebody says something about that's funny. And let's see. If my subscriber count correlates with the price of Hex, then wait till March. YouTube will crash. That's right. Yes. They both pump each other, don't they? Then Unhexable is still taking notes, I see. There are some things I can improve. It looks like probably like 10 or 15 lines of blank space if you can't see it on here. Whales only. Yeah, addicted to the quick moon maths. Did I score as an did I score as an advocate? There's a type that's as an advocate. I can't remember what the advocate, because I learned it before. I mean, there's been a lot of development of the Myers-Briggs. The advocate is the INFJ personality, I believe, that I'm looking up now. And that's, I'm extroverted. But again, I'll do a big reveal, whenever we get to that. Let's see here. Hex Mac, INFJ. There you go. We're just talking about you. The advocate. Thanks for advocating. Wait, are you guys both INFJs? Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. Wait. INFT. Okay. Well, you have NFT in your personality type, so maybe we'll have to make a hex badge for that. I'm I'm joking about like making a hex badge for everything, but like I would like to make a hex badge for all of the things that are awesome that we want to reward the community for and have as badges of honor. So you guys could probably tell when I'm joking and when I'm not. If not, ask. Elon is a master promoter. Absolutely. Toby, brand doesn't drive the forklifts, manages the delivery, and makes sure the jobs go downtown and they go out on time. And, brand makes sure that the steaks come out on time too, I think. Hex advocate. Absolutely. Old man Hex has many personalities. Okay. Many people in the chat were thinking are INF and then INFJ or INFP, right? Oh, that's funny. Yeah. INFT. Whoa, Kevin's an advocate too? No way. Wow. Okay, so maybe there's something to this whole maybe there's something to this Myers-Briggs thing after all, right? We got all that we got like an advocate stream going on. Very good, very good. So I'm glad I asked. Let's see here. You've scored yourself on, what do we just do? Social emotional awareness. Congratulations. You are ripe for improvement there, because that is a awareness category, right? And so the awareness category is the most sensitive to the pump when it comes to being able to increase your score there next time you take this in 3 to 6 weeks. And finally, the fourth and final category, come on down, relationship management. Woohoo! The price is right. Good. First one, I am able to show affection. Relationship management, able to show affection. Go ahead and rank yourself 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Next, my relationships are safe places for me. Good. My relationships are safe places for me. I find it easy to share my deep feelings with others. Do you? Do you find it easy to share your deep feelings with others? Next one, I am good at motivating others. All right. Another skill. A lot of these are going to look like skills. I am good at motivating others. I am a fairly cheerful person. Awesome. Yeah. And, doesn't matter the state of the world. I think, well, it does, your environment does dictate a lot about how you act. But if you look at how you are on average, right? Are you able to be fairly cheerful compared to others? If you were given the same news as somebody else, would you try to find a way to be resilient, to cope with it? Like, I kind of go back and forth about like this actual statistic. It's not a statistic. I think it's a fact. I'm not even sure it's a fact, right? It's like in the Chinese language, right? Everybody's talking about the Chinese New Year's Eve. In the Chinese language, the symbol for a crisis and opportunity are the same. With a lot of stuff that's inspirational, you might find it's more or less true. But the point is, it's motivational, right? It's kind of like when we talk about Einstein's big quote, right, that we like to use in HEX. I think it's in the updated version of the Staker app. They have like different quotes that pop up at different times. Pretty cool. And, supposedly Einstein said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. We like compound interest because that's what T-shares represent. And did Einstein really say that? Well, let me tell you, I've done my homework and I don't think he did, but he's often quoted as saying that. So if you like him and you like that he said it, don't get too worried. It's still good. It's good stuff. Thank you, Einstein. Thank you to whoever actually really did say it. You deserve more credit, right? Very good. Where did we leave off? I am a fairly cheerful person. Excellent. It is easy for me to make friends. How easy is it for you to make friends? Might depend on your relationship management. People tell me I am sociable and fun. And so in a pandemic, being sociable might mean something a little bit different than it does during normal times. But nevertheless, is this something people have told you? Maybe you'll rank higher if they have. I like helping people. Okay. That's another indicator that you are able to manage your own relationships, because if you're not managing yourself and your own emotions and your own relationships, then it's not going to be as easy to help others. And then you're not going to like it, right? Next one, others can depend on me, right? Did you leave your friend at the airport for hours on end and you never picked him up? Well, you're not so dependable after all. Or maybe you are, I don't know. Maybe your friend was a terrible person and you wanted to get them stranded. I'm just joking around. I try to pick up my friends from the airport. Hope you do too. So being dependable, that's a good thing. Part of your relationship management as well. And finally, I am able to talk someone down even if they are very upset. So if you're able to talk somebody down, even if they're very upset, then you're going to score higher here on the relationship management part of the IQ test. And now let's go to the comments. Let's see here. I already see Bitfinesse is out here. Bitfinesse, what's up? I just get pumped up when I see Bitfinesse. Doesn't matter whether he's on stream. All right, it does. Then I get super pumped up. If I see him in the chat, I get pretty pumped up as well. Let's see. Great minds think alike. Oh, somebody's wondering what personality type Richard is. There, that's the show. That's what we need to do. Well, that's how that'll be the clickbait, you know, like what personality type is Richard Hart, right? Because they do it for lots of famous people. Like there's lots of examples out there of like, you know, this is what Mother Teresa was. This is what everybody else was in the world, right? Like they've got all the celebrity personality types out there. Let's see. Great minds think alike. Steaks are cooking very well. I hear them sizzling. Very good. Richard is chaotic good. I've always heard things about Myers-Briggs. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Kevin said it well. That's why we're drawn to HEX. Birds of a feather. Flock together, stake together, all the above. Has anyone here done the wealth dynamics test? I have not. Is it the wealth dynamics test? I wonder what that is. Wealth dynamics test. Somebody will probably say in the chat. It's the world's leading profiling tool for entrepreneurs. Our profile test tells what strategy to follow to build wealth. Take the test today. Interesting. Let's see. I get the sense that the first two parts could have been boiled down to two questions. How well can you hide your emotions from others? For how long? First two parts. Let's see. You talking about this section or the sections overall? Able to show affection. I don't know. I was like, how so? You know, that's a good question. Let's see. Take one. Sometimes it helps you to learn more about the psychology behind yourself. Very good. HexMac is advocating for the wealth dynamics test. Go check it out. As long as it doesn't ask for your private seed words, you might be okay. Not testing advice. Let's see. Fam, thanks. Costs nothing to send a tweet. Worth remembering. Very good. I was a champion on the Myers-Briggs, says Dr. Moore. No wonder I got into HEX. Hashtag winning. Right on. Wow. People are super excited for this Myers-Briggs stream that's coming up. The champion is ENFP. Very good. Extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceptive. Very good. Let's see. Does the do the Chinese have a symbol for buy the dip? Excellent question. Are we dipping in HEX? Are we pumping? What's happening? You know, I got 2% liquid, but you know, I'm just waiting for that $10.01 that we're getting to by the end of the year. Some people think. Let's see. Haven't done that test. Googling it now. Let's see. Go try it out. You might find out something new about yourself. Very good. Well, I am excited. What other questions do people have about emotional intelligence? Okay, so we got through the different questions here, right? And then we're going to add up the scores. You're going to score yourself on each of the 4 different categories: emotional awareness, emotional management, social emotional awareness, and relationship management, right? You're going to get a score out of 40 for each section. And then if you want to get your total score, then you can add up all 4 categories. And then you're going to get a score out of, what would it be? 120? No, 160. You're going to get a score out of 160, and that's going to be your total EQ, or emotional quotient, right? Or emotional intelligence. Let's see. And okay, now here we're actually getting to the best part, I think, which is using your EQ strength. So out of the last 3 questions here, it says, for your strongest EQ domain, give an example of how you demonstrated your strength in your daily life or work. So you're going to go back through the list, and I would recommend finding your strongest area and then pick one of the items out of there that you might have scored as a 4 or a 3.5 or a 3, and then give an example of how you're living that in your life. That that gives you a chance to pump yourself up and to see, right? Because this is kind of your positive association, and it's being able to see, because your strengths, again, are something that allow you to leverage that energy into the other things. And then effects of your EQ strength. For your weakest EQ domain, give an example of how this affects you and others in your daily life or work. Okay, maybe they're talking about the whole domain overall. That's one way to do it. So you can go back and pick an individual item that's a strength, or you can just pick the domain overall that's the strongest and give an example of how your strongest EQ domain plays out in your daily life or work. And then you can as well have an example of your domain that's the weakest, how that plays out. Go ahead and do that now or later, whatever. And then improving your EQ strength. For your weakest EQ domain, what steps can you take to strengthen yourself in this area? How will this benefit you in your daily life or work? Amazing, right? That's literally telling you, all right, why are you going to do this, right? That gets to the why. What is it? There's all these smart people always saying, if you want to have more motivation and if you want to do more in your life, like, you have to understand why you're doing it, right? It's a passion play, right? And so that's one way to break it down, to know the functionality of why you're doing something, to know the motivation. Let's see. What are people saying here in the chat? Buy low, sell high, or just buy low and get trustless interest. Thanks for this, Maddie. You're very welcome. Thank you for participating, for listening. I'm very blessed to have an audience that cares so much about their emotional intelligence. All right, people. Let's see. Biffness, you said you scored perhaps the lowest possible on the first 2 sections and really high on the last 2. Are you broken? No. Well, okay. What do you want? Do you want the counseling answer or the therapy answer, right? Like, do you want me to tell you everything's going to be okay? Or do you want me to actually give you feedback? I don't like referring to people as broken. Right? I think that what you're identifying here is that you're seeing areas for significant improvement. And I thank you for volunteering that information, because that's helpful for the people out there wondering, like, what if I scored lower in some areas than others, right? Let's think about what this means overall in the domain area, right? And so if you're scoring low on the emotional awareness and emotional management, then that means that those are things that are internally oriented, right? Those are things relating to yourself. And so a lot of times, even people who are high achieving, they might be better at being aware of other people's emotions and managing that awareness and acting upon it in functional ways compared to dealing with their own emotions, right? And so your comment from earlier that was talking about how, really what's happening in those first two domains is, being able to hide your emotions, right? That is one strategy that people can use, right? When they're still needing skills in order to be aware and manage your emotions. And so, on the personal end of things, even just asking, whether you're broken or something, like, that's a question that maybe is demonstrating that the more you're able to esteem yourself, I think, then you're going to get more mad gains when it comes to to your emotional awareness. And so sometimes I think people, we can be too hard on ourselves, right? And that's something that can be learned from other people. And so when you have people in your life who are hard on you, then you're going to, like, as a child growing up, you're going to be learning to be like hyper attentive to everybody else's emotions. And you're going to be really motivated to manage that adult's emotions yourself. And so you're kind of pressured to be codependent and to basically to be managing, because that's part of your emotional environment. And so literally people can learn to manage other people's emotions as a way to manage their own, right? Because emotions are contagious, right? And that's something that we don't get taught enough, but you might agree is super true, right? If somebody's got a super bad mood, then you might pick that up from them, right? If they're yelling at you, you might yell back, and then you might yell at the next person or kick the dog, right? That's why everybody at the DMV is in such a bad mood, because one person came in there and spoiled it for everyone, right? And so that's why it can be super powerful when you do have those strengths, when you're able to manage other people's emotions and be more aware of other people's emotions rather than your own. Then that's one way to indirectly manage your own emotions. So when people are learning anger management, they one of the things that they learn is, like, not to say, like, you made me angry, right? Like, because that's really how it can feel, and that's how you can see it, until you get to the point where you're able to see, like, well, the anger is my reaction, and that's something that I choose when I'm aware of it, right? And so that's the internal management that's happening when you say, I made me angry because of what you did. That's how I reacted. And then when you take responsibility for that, then it's easier to manage than if you're always having to control everybody else in order to manage your own anger. And again, like, I'm not speaking specifically about anybody, in the chat. I'm just speaking generally from experience, what types of attitudes we run into and what can be the most helpful, right? Is when you're taking responsibility for your own anger. But really, the trick is if you've, part of the reason you might be getting angry is because you're trying to control everybody else's moods so that they don't infect yours. And so when you're able to do that self-management, when you're able to catch your anger early, then you have more room to problem solve and to be independent instead of dependent on other people's moods and emotions, and maybe even lift other people up or kind of change their mood for the positive, because it works both ways. Probably, I don't know, negative moods might be a little bit more contagious than positive moods, but I think positive moods can be super contagious too. Let's see. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully you guys can let me know in the comments here. Oh, okay. Kevin is like literally explaining that there are, in crypto events are actually answering the question of like whether there's a buy the dip symbol in the Chinese language. And they're giving an example of that. This is literally saying buy low, sell high. Oh, very cool. Those are the characters there. Excellent. And then Kevin follows this up. We have one that combines FUD and FOMO, which means chasing the highs and selling the lows. Wow. Oh, so interesting. I'm going to come back and screenshot this. Very cool. I'm going to put like a no symbol next to the one that's chasing the highs and the lows, and put like a check mark next to the buy low, sell high. We like that. Let's see. Very good. Hexmac giving Bitfinesse reassurance that he's not broken. Crypto Vince, that's cool. Badminton addict, so learn Chinese or try to. My goal is to beat Lin Dan. Might have to wait until he turns 80. Okay, I don't know about all that stuff, but still funny to read. What's the Chinese symbol for crisis or opportunity? Oh, okay. People are literally able to answer. So that's not true? Okay, crisis is opportunity. Okay. See, when you get the truth on some of this stuff, it's more factual. And so it's good I think it's good to have both. I think it's good to have the truth. Like, is there really a symbol, or like, how would you symbolize what we're trying to say? But then, at least hit people with the lie at first and then immediately correct yourself, so like they can get a little bit of that motivation. I don't know. Okay, so this is the symbol for crisis is opportunity. I like that. Thank you guys. This is see, I'm learning, right? I'm learning so much stuff from the chat. Powerful stuff. Maddie, ALLin, ALLin HEX Therapy. Thank you. Always find it interesting how in the business landscapes it changes over time. For new generations, these things are very important to be happy at work when leadership has this emotional intelligence. For past generations, not so important on the surface, at least. Very insightful. DJ Cryptomatic, welcome. Very good. That tattoo is going to hurt. Crisis is opportunity. I love this. I'm learning so much and my head doesn't hurt. Oh, very good. Let's see. I want the raw feedback. It's so far behind on the stream. Too good to fast forward. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bitfinesse. Great content, Maddie. I appreciate it. Somebody says this stream is fire. Thank you. So much positivity in the community. It's hard for that not to be infectious too, right? Hex brings people together. And again, that's part of my thesis, right? That I'm saying about when it comes to healthy behaviors attracting other healthy behaviors, right? And so when people in Hex are literally delaying gratification by locking up their money and earning interest in the system, right? Because it's not selling is the action that causes the price to go up. And so in Hex, you're literally getting paid trustless interest in order to hold the price up. Just like how the miners in Bitcoin, they're getting paid to hold the price up because they're continuing the security of the network. But in Hex, we don't need to worry about the security because we already paid for it up front. And the smart contract isn't continually getting new code added to it because it's locked in a block from 2019 when the contract was launched on the first day. Thank you, Richard Hart, for figuring out being so advanced in crypto, and I'll tell you, Richard Hart, he could explain it to me 1,000 times and it blows my mind because he doesn't repeat himself too often. I mean, that's incredible. He's always adding more angles. I mean, he's truly a genius. It's really awesome. For our community, we get to interact with a billionaire genius who invented the greatest financial product in the history of man, like hands down, and the entire world, they're just waking up to learn about Bitcoin. They're 12 years behind the game. And then there's us, we who already knew about Bitcoin, and we were amazed by it. Probably when you first really understood Bitcoin, you put a lot of time and energy into learning more and trying to find out everything you could. That's why we're creating this content. Maybe I do repeat myself, right? But in those moments that I'm repeating myself, it might be something that's very helpful for you to understand HEX, for me to understand HEX, or for other people too. Because when you're on the cutting edge of literal financial technology, fintech, then, it's even more exciting. You're going to get to discover things for the first time. You're going to get to think thoughts that have never been thought, or at least that maybe haven't been broadcast, right? To a community of people who are all just as excited, right? We're a bunch of nerds, but at the same time, it's intelligence that really advances the human race, right? And it's just so exciting, right? I'm not gonna lie, I've been listening to a little bit of Bitcoin stuff, and no, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm still buying HEX. I bought 3 times when I was on the stream with Kareem and Wales only. You can go back and watch that. But I love the hype around Bitcoin because I know how the story ends. I know that Bitcoin gets pumped way higher than anybody could imagine. All the institutions FOMO in, and then they finish doing their homework, right? And in the meantime, I hope they think HEX is a scam, because I'm going to onboard a bunch of really cool people, and those are going to be the people who end up having the best share rate for the longest, right? It's going to be the people who get into HEX, like kind of like the late early adopters who really do the best, right? And I'm okay with that, because like, I don't know, like I feel good about the amount of HEX I have. I'm proud of it, right? Part of it was luck, but part of it was the amount of time that I put in. And I think my attitude is changing to the point where I don't want haters to buy HEX anymore. Like at first I was like, oh, come on, all you famous Bitcoin people, like, come on, buy into HEX. Now I'm like, no, like I'm going to buy the HEX. I'm going to get my friends to buy the HEX. Please don't buy the HEX. All you influencers out there who have had so long, right? You've had a year and a half since like just before launch, when Richard started doing his rounds, right? He did the whole circuit. He talked to everybody out there. He explained what it was, right? He sat down. He looked him in the face. He put his name on it, right? He broke it down. He explains Ethereum better than the founder of Ethereum. Like, you're going to call it a scam. Well, why are you calling it a scam? Maybe because you're getting money from exchanges that aren't going to benefit from people holding all their money in one place for so many years, right? You're not going to, exchanges don't make money. They only make money when they get you to switch back and forth between all these different currencies. Like, oh, buy Ethereum, like buy Bitcoin, then buy ADA, then buy, like, oh, ADA, like you can port transactions over there. Like, okay, that doesn't tell me why it's like going to be valuable, like, oh, cheap block space. Yeah, people love cheap block space. Not, I mean, in a bull market, everything goes up. Everybody feels like they're right. You get people who do these little 4Xs or something, and like now they won't listen to reason, or they've got a big following because guess what? They're sending people to exchanges to get liquidated, and they're reaping the benefits of that, right? They're getting paid not to hold the price up, but to rug pull everybody else, right? And so they actually have the resources just like a scammer would. I'm talking about the legitimate influencers who trick you into sending your Bitcoin to an exchange, like for any reason, especially to earn interest. You know, I'm talking to you, Anthony, right? With your little BlockFi scheme, like that's hilarious. Like, oh yeah, you know, we want 7% interest, like only to hold on to all my Bitcoin. It's not my Bitcoin anymore because I don't hold the private keys. Like, what is this? Get out of here. Get out of here, guy. Like, let me see. I'm just breaking it down how it really is, people. So you want to, I'm getting used to the new setup too. So what you're telling me is you want me to send you my Bitcoin so you can hold on to it. And then I don't know if you really still have it or not. I don't know if you're using it to make leveraged plays to like liquidate me and my friends who are gambling around with leverage trading in the highest appreciating asset in the history of mankind, that you don't have to gamble. You don't have to lose everything in order to do well. If you just buy Bitcoin, you hold it, like, oh, you might do well on a long enough timeline, 10 or 15 years. If you could lock your Bitcoin, maybe we would recommend it a little bit more. But literally, there's going to be 10 or 15 years of like more and more advanced social engineering, like AIs and corporations tricking you into like trading back and forth between different things, right? Like that's how they're going to make their money. There's only a handful, there's a small amount of people who actually make money in crypto. It's long-term holders to some extent, but it's mostly exchanges and founders, right? And as you're holding HEX right now, if you have it staked, you're literally getting paid like a founder, because the founder coins, whether you are thinking that it's Richard or it's just the origin address, maybe it's just programmed, who cares? The origin address is like paying you so much of the Genesis coins, right? Just to distribute them to the strongest hands. Like, what a genius mechanism. You know, like this is a second Nobel Prize, by the way. Like the share system, Nobel Prize #1. Second Nobel Prize is the fact of how the coins were distributed. No other coin has figured out how to distribute coins as fairly as Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's literal strategy was nobody's going to know if it works. Like the whole time. Now we know it works, but nothing differentiates these copy coins, right? It's just copy and paste coin. Again, all the financial energy is going to make you try to believe. I was on like Twitch or some platform last week, and I was like interested, what are other people watching in cryptocurrency who don't know about HEX? And I tune in. It's like this super informative, like well-polished infomercial for a scam. It's like some mining situation. Like new people, they're going to run into that. And that's why I think it's so important for us to up our game, because the reason HEX was invented was to compete with scams, to get people into something that's safe and that's innovative, right? And HEX is not a security, and as defined by the law, but HEX is a world-changing innovation, because I was just listening to something today that says 40% of the money that exists in the US economy has been printed since the beginning of the pandemic, once this 1.7 trillion gets printed. And what are those bankers doing? They're leveraging it 10 to 100 times. They're creating $1,000 trillion worth of derivatives, right? And like, but they can't create more Bitcoin, and they sure can't create more HEX. Can't copy and paste HEX. And HEX is the thing that Bitcoin always wishes it would be, which is the hardest form of money, and the form of money that lives up to the game theory, right? Because that is literally what Bitcoin is based on, is game theory. When Bitcoin was invented, it was the first time there was ever digital scarcity, in the sense that you can't copy something and have more of it. That never existed before in a way that could be validated and transparent to all. And yet Bitcoin, it made the decision to stop innovating. And, you know, again, when you've gone up 4.7 million X, you know, you believe that you're right about everything. That's true. And that's why it's such a David and Goliath story for HEX to come along. And that's why I think it makes sense that people don't understand HEX and they don't believe it. People have made the comment, it's easier to get people to understand HEX who maybe don't even know about Bitcoin, because the people who know about Bitcoin, they're suffering from a bias, right? I don't know, let's just make up a new bias, right? It's like a mad gains bias, right? Even if they didn't get the mad gains, how many people do you know who bought Bitcoin at $1 and they're still holding on to it now? How many? Oh, what was that? I couldn't hear you because nobody said anything, because nobody knows anybody who held Bitcoin from $1 till now, right? But why don't you check in with me, tweet bot, remind me in 10 years, 15 years from now, once HEX has already been as old as Bitcoin, we're going to check in then and see whether or not somebody held HEX for that long in the form of T-shares. And I can tell you right now how many people did it, or at least committed to, and then would have to pay all their penalties to not hold it. In Bitcoin, you do not know when people are going to sell. You do not know when people are going to wake up and learn about HEX and sell all of their Bitcoin for that. But in HEX, you do know when when the future market supply is going to exist. And that's something that, again, that's the third Nobel Prize right there. Literally, I don't really know if we could look it up. Have there been any double Nobel Prizes ever? But it's about to be a three-peat up in here for Richard Hart. Let me tell you. And I will ride his coattails. I'll just be out here hanging out with you guys, blowing up in the YouTubes, like Richard said. I mean, those of us, all of you who study his streams and listen to them once or more than once, we have the benefit of all of his intelligence. And if we're able to repeat, right, and rehearse what he said, then we're able to communicate and amplify his intelligence and his signal, right? Because there's so much noise in the whole system. There's so many people who are getting paid to hold up the price because it's a scam, because it doesn't have the game theory that HEX does, right? And so if you want to get real deep with anybody on why Bitcoin has value, it's because it has digital scarcity, because it has the best game theory. Wrong. It did have the best game theory before HEX was invented. And if you want to learn more, go to hex.com/tech-specs. Tech specs, it's all right there. We'll go there now. I don't have a problem going to tech specs. Let's see here. Hex.com, wrong keyboard. I'm gonna catch up with the chat here. I want to hear that intro song again. That pumped me up. Let's see here. Screen share. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I know we got the new website coming out and everybody's excited for that. But for the haters, if you didn't invest in HEX because of the website, then you have a problem reading, because having those of us who've been in HEX for a year, you're the ones who can say we want a better website and then make the better website, right? And that's basically what happened. people in Hex have been out there like making a new website, right? Hex doesn't, like, the founder doesn't promise you things. That's so cool. That's literally underrated in Hex, how the founder does not promise you things. Like, go out there and tell me about all the other coins where the founder is out here like, yo, here's my name, and here's my reputation, and try to find somebody that I scammed ever in my life. And then they're like, okay, here, you're not gonna find somebody who's not making promises, who's not still developing. Hex is a finished product. You gotta love that. You gotta love the like, you could disagree with Richard on something, I guess, like, but you're still gonna recognize his intelligence as soon as you talk to him, right? And I don't think you're gonna beat him in a debate, and I don't think you're gonna find too many things that aren't factual about what he says. That is so rare, right? Somebody who speaks so much, who has so much knowledge to share, who gives it away for free, who has written self-help books that are hundreds, like one book. What was it? I said it on the HEX conference. It's like 700 and something pages. Like, go read it. It's amazing. Sci-Vive. Look at his early streams. Like, there's nobody out there dropping so much knowledge who's in crypto. There's not even close. And you can message him. How many billionaires can you message? Right? Like, I got real close to messaging Vitalik. But he had a bunch of like digital bodyguards around him when I was inviting him to the first HEX conference. Who else did I talk to? I talked to some people about the first HEX conference, and I knew that they would say no, but I just wanted to give them a heads up, like, hey, we're coming for your mind share. You think you understand crypto? Well, guess what? This content is going to be available for years to come, and you can come learn whenever you're ready. I put people on blast. Like, the people who I invited to the HEX conference and I knew that they wouldn't come, like Andreas Antonopoulos. Who else? Who's the gold guy? I'm gonna have to go to the chat. Who's the gold guy? He's always talking about gold. His son's into crypto, and he's only like all into gold. Peter Schiff. That's what I'm thinking of. Peter Schiff's son. I invited him to the first HEX conference. He's like a college kid. He's also a Twitter celebrity now that he like told his dad, I bought Bitcoin. And his dad's like always talking crap about Bitcoin. So funny. Like, yeah, I invited him. Again, looking at the future, we want people to know that they missed out. Like, we want to rub it in their faces, and we want them to know where to come to find the information when they're ready. When they're ready to learn about HEX, when something goes off in their head, when they snap, when they literally snap and they realize, oh shit, HEX was supposed to go away, right? That's why I can't wait for the bear market. I don't have that much Ethereum. Like, I got a little bit of Bitcoin that I can't sell because it's like locked up in like all these like international vaults. And it's like physical Bitcoin. I literally have physical Bitcoin back from like BTC China. And like, so I got a little Bitcoin. Like, I'm still dollar cost averaging into HEX. I'm glad I am. Like, that's, I never thought I would sell my Bitcoin, but it's worth it for HEX. Because you look at the tech specs and then you're going to know. I mean, I know a lot about Bitcoin. I've run a full node. I've imported ASICs, miners from China back in the day. Like, I've been kicked off multiple like financial platforms for doing nothing wrong. Like, just because they're changing their terms of service, like to things that were previously allowed, like all this stuff, right? Like I know about Bitcoin, all right? And again, I'm like Richard. I hope Bitcoin does well, right? Hope it does super well. Hope it goes to $1 million a coin, because that's so many millions of dollars that is going to come into HEX. And it's only a matter of time. Like I said, people, they're going to snap. People are going to snap once they keep seeing over and over again. New people, they come into HEX and not Bitcoin. Old people, they keep getting converted, right? And there are those, like, socially, right? We're talking about psychology. We're talking about crypto. We're talking about mental health. There are people in the HEX community, OGs, who are social connectors. And that's their superpower, right? They're out there. Crypty Girl, right? Crypto King, Crypto Coffee. Dang. Wow, they all have crypto in their name. Who else? There were other ones I had in my head before I realized the first three, they're all starting with crypto. Maybe I should I'm not going to rebrand, but if I did, I'll put crypto in there. Who else is a connector? We got a lot of connectors. There are people out there. Oh, Nerd Girl. Yeah. These people, they are super well connected. They're out there, like, dealing with the minutia and the details and the nuance of how to get these people to understand what they've missed, right? And what they're going to keep missing. HEX was designed to leave meat on the bone. Dev Kyle said it. Richard said it. You all saw the HEX 2020 rewind video the other day. You saw at the end, that's one of the last comments that Richard made in the social for day 4 of the HEX conference. He said, what? Like, people, yeah, of course people could come up with ways that HEX could have been better, when it was launched. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but, like, what more do you want? You already got a 352x in the first year. What, did you want a 5,000x in the first year? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. HEX was designed on purpose to leave meat on the bone for people coming in later. So congratulations, people who are coming in later, right? Bitcoin wasn't designed to leave meat on the bone for people who come in later. People bought it at a penny. People bought it at $1. Richard bought it at $30. I bought it at, I might have to go back and look at my stats, because I found that wallet where I donated to a video website back in like 2015 or something, I bought my first Ethereum at $20. Ethereum was not designed to leave meat on the bone, right? People bought Ethereum at 30 cents, I think. I'm pretty sure. Right? HEX was designed to leave meat on the bone because of how the share system works. Because by my count, there's 3 Nobel Prizes there in one crypto. How many other cryptos are worthy of a Nobel Prize because the founder is still out there saying, look what I built. I got my name on it. Like, you could trust this, because you don't have to trust it. You could look at the code. We'll look at the code. Like, let's look at the code. One resource that I want people to know about is all my links. So you've seen this before. allmylinks.com/allin. The only thing that is not Maddie ALLin. So I'm Maddie ALLin on Twitter, Twitch, Theta, YouTube, Medium, Linktree, you name it. But, like, I just thought I'd make this one a little bit shorter. Everybody can spell ALLin. Maddie, a lot of different spellings of it. There's Matty, Matty, Matti, Mati. I'm the last one. I update this, and I'm going to keep updating it to make sure that it has all the resources that you guys need. here's my shill link for Staker app that's not really ready to go. But then you can see the HEX conference, the program, the YouTube where it's archived. We've got the HEX badge NFT system that was original. You can message me if you want an original HEX badge, because those might go away at some point. You're not going to be able to resell it anyway, but it's cool to have an original one. And if I send it to you directly, then you don't have to pay as much gas at all. It's a new system I just discovered of just sending it to you. Then here's all my HEX content. As you would suspect, these are all the platforms, right? Like I said, Maddie ALLin on all of them, DLive, Theta, Periscope. But then we've got like all the HEX resources that we love. The HEX Telegram. We got how to buy HEX in 3 easy steps. Taylor Kennedy Medium article. We've got MetaMask so people can get that. We got ethhex.com so people can check out that Uniswap front end. Then we got how to stake HEX in 3 easy steps. And then go.hex.com/stake. So like if you're wanting to explain to somebody like how to get into HEX, you don't have to use a referral code. You don't have to get Staker app. Like you can just walk them through it. You can use this as a resource or use other things. But I just wanted to make something hex.com, then HEX contract in layman's terms written by Nerd Girl, which is the updated one. And then the original HEX contract in layman's terms by Dev Kyle, who wrote a good amount of the code. You can buy physical T-share coins from me. That's another shill. You can get, I just started a Discord. I don't know what a Discord is. I got one now. Twitter, HEX badge, group. Those are the people who are going to find out first about all the best things that are going to be available. T.me/HEX badge, not plural. I have the plural, but then it'll just tell you to go to this one. My Medium, I put a lot of work originally into writing Medium articles, so there's some good stuff there. HEX Cameo playlist. Now that's what I call HEX Volume 1, HEX playlist. Is HEX a scam? It's not a scam, by the way. That's another Medium article that I wrote saying that HEX is not a scam. My contact, Proton Mail, Telegram, then the HEX community, like HEX content creators, hex.com/content, right? And then different people who are in the community. I know I don't have everybody there, but that's something I'm adding to still. And, the next link I'll put on here, I'm going to put a link like, hey, here's the HEX contract code, right? But I know where it is. It's etherscan.io. Oh, typing in the wrong. Right? And you type in HEX. Type HEX. Oh. Hello. Like, don't they know what the right HEX is? Okay. Let's see. Now we go down to read contract. This looks different than before. Looks more organized. I think they changed it to make it more like readable instead of just a bunch of lines of code. But that's weird. Okay, well, come on, etherscan.io. Like, I'm trying to pump you up and you're just like changing everything all at once. That's okay. Yeah, I'll study this more. And then I'll be able to show people the best way to like read it. It's oh, I think this is the version where you can actually like run it from here. Brand knows about that. There used to be a way to get to the actual contract from here. Oh, the contract's here under this address. Okay. And then go to contract. Boom. There you go. Like, save that. And then, yeah, right. So here's the code. You can audit it yourself. You don't need to trust Richard Hart. I mean, I like trusting Richard because he's a trustworthy dude. But check it out, line 718. What does it say? Oh, look, 5555, leaving meat on the bone. Check it out. Kareem, he would have staked for 30 years. He would have staked for 50 years. All right. Like only 15 years. That's leaving meat on the bone. I'm giving, like, I'm breaking it down for you exactly how it is. I hope it's helpful. All right. So that was our sidetrack, going away from tech specs, which is the reason why I predict, because HEX is a superior financial technology, like it will go up harder than Bitcoin, which went up harder than anything in history. So the point is, stop selling your HEX for other coins. Stop playing these games, right? Like I don't care if ADA is going to pump a little bit. I don't care if Polkadot's going to pump a little bit. Like I don't care. Like ETH, I don't want ETH to pump, right? Like I loaded up on like a little bit of ETH. My ETH was like 3% of my crypto portfolio, and now it's like I'm trying to get it to 5 or 10% maybe. But like the more I think about it, it's like, oh, all right, well, I'm gonna have that for fees, but like the higher the price of ETH goes, the more expensive it is to unstake. So I'm cool. I'm good. Like, ETH can chill. Do I want ETH to go? Like, HEX is part of the trading pair of ETH, so I'm okay. It's gonna be okay. ETH, it can go up. Listen, I buy on Richard's calls, and that's been a really good strategy. I wish I would have done it more, but I'm just saying. Richard said after the conference, he said, "Oh, it looks like buying it." He's like, "This isn't financial advice. You didn't hear from me," but he said, 32% of a penny. He's like, "Oh, that looks like a good price to buy because it seems like a whale keeps buying it up just to that point." And I was like, "Oh shit." So I just like bought it, like buy, go, and like, yes, that was the right move. We're at like a 4x now from that. So I'm not gonna waste my coins on Uniswap, like tokens. I sold them at the time. I don't care how high it goes. That's gonna be a pump and dump too, or maybe it'll do great, right? We established that exchanges make money like founders do, but like holding something like HEX, you're earning so much more than you actually even realize. I said I did a 4x since the conference, but like, then you start force multiplying the T-share interest that you're getting, right? Then you start force multiplying, like, well, this isn't force multiplying, but like, then you get to the point where like, how many HEX can people really buy? Kareem's out there pulling in dolphins like he's a freaking fisherman. Like, he's out there like getting his friend to put in $80,000 into HEX. Boom, get him in. Boom, get him in. Buying Staker app wallets for people for $60, just giving it to Stefan Firebun. Like, here, let's go. Like, the T-share price is not going to wait for anybody. I'm out here giving away T-shares during different promotions just to show you. It was 3 weeks ago. The T-share price for 15.2 year T-share, the maximum, 5555. It only costs 5,555 HEX to get 1.000 T-shares. I think it's up. What is it up to now? Like 5,600, 5,800, some like way higher number. And it only goes up, the price of a T-shirt. That's the thing. And that's something we break down in the Quant Gang and just in general. Like, I want people to know T-sharp price, it's going to keep moving against you until you stake, and stake long if you want to have that trustless interest engine working for you for years to come. Like in HEX, you pick how long you get the compounded interest that's starting whenever you start your stake. In HEX, you decide how long you're going to lock down your money so that no matter how high HEX goes, you're not going to sell it, because it seems like the pattern in crypto is the number goes up higher than people could ever imagine. That is why HEX is superior, is because all of us people who got in early, like, even though there's still meat on the bone, we're going to do super well, especially those of us who are practicing more delayed gratification, more long-term thinking. It doesn't matter if you just start now. I think you're still going to do well. This isn't financial advice. I'm just telling you my free speech, what I did, what I've learned. And it's not fair. I wish I had a clone of myself who could tell me all this stuff, like back when I was learning about HEX, and there were people out there, hexologists, RG3, others. I mean, you can go down the list. Everybody in the HEX conference, they've been preaching the good word for a long time, helping a lot of people, and you think the love is good now, wait till HEX goes up 100x if it does, right? There's gonna be some love, no homo. There's gonna be some love around for all the people who got each other in, who kept each other strong, who contributed to each other's mental health, sense of community, right? That's there's so many things in HEX that can get you excited. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. That's why this channel keeps bringing in more and more people. It was getting 100 followers a week more. I don't know. It's awesome. It's really awesome to see the numbers go up. It's really awesome because what that means is that more people are getting the opportunity to do right by themselves in their long-term savings. The world financial system does not want people to save. Or maybe it does. It wants you to save so that, you can earn negative interest rates in Japan. It wants you to save so you can earn nothing, and then they can print 40% more money and then make inflation increase or take away from the abundance of what technology is creating for us in this world. They want to give all the profits to the billionaires, right? And the corrupt politicians. It's a scam. The US dollar is getting rug pulled as we speak. They're getting ready to print $1.7 trillion. I was thinking about this today. You just printed 40% of the money in the economy, but I didn't get 40% more dollars. I'm not worried about holding dollars, but where's my airdrop of 40%? Y'all gave me $600, what? And then you gave me $1,200 or something. I don't know. I just put the money into crypto. But the point is, what are you doing? Where's all this money going? Then I get to spend it once, and now the corporations have it. They can 10 and 100x leverage themselves. They can buy into crypto with the money you printed to devalue the dollar. That's why it's so funny. The corporations and ultra high net wealth individuals, they can't buy into HEX and get the prices we got. They can't buy into HEX and get the prices that small people can get now. Richard and Kyle said they left meat on the bone, but that meat, that's not for people who have billions of dollars. That meat is there for people who are in the middle class. And I wish it'd be possible. I hope someday soon we develop a way to buy HEX without paying excessive gas fees, so we can get people in who only have $20 to their name. The current situation, though, there's so much pressure. There's so much stuff being built on Ethereum. That's the thing. There's so much stuff being built on Ethereum. It's costing 40 to 100 times more to run a HEX transaction. Like, if that's not telling you something about the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, like, you got to wonder what information you're getting. Okay. Sorry. Let's look in the comments. Super rant. Wonderful community. Higher percentage interest gains. That's right. Tell him, Maddie, with 2 or 3 T's. Either way. Like, I think that was before I went on the rant about how to spell Maddie. I can hear the frustration in your voice. I no longer shill to non-believers. Word. Like, why not just shill to people you love and care about? Let the charts talk, because people love buying it over a penny. Truth. Curious, Maddie's take on people who can mask their emotions too well. I'm thinking specifically about politicians and those who wish to harm others, appear sweet, then knife you in the back. All right. That's an emotional question. Let's run through this real quick. Then I'll expound upon that. That's an excellent question, Biffness. HEX is like Bitcoin with a proof of work change. Bitcoin and HEX are analogous. Bitcoin and HEX are peer-to-peer networks that store value and transmit value. In Bitcoin, miners buy mining hardware and electricity from companies. In HEX, miners buy HEX from other HEX holders and then use time to mine. HEX is proof of weight instead of proof of work. Oh my God, I love that. How did I not see that? See, this HEX website, hex.com, it gets updated, and it's pure gold or pure HEX, whichever one you value more. HEX is proof of weight instead of proof of work. So beautiful. First point, inflation incentivizes behavior. Boom. First of all, I'm going to say the dollar incentivizes people to risk their money gambling in the stock market. Bitcoin inflation pays miners, security racket, and HEX inflation pays stakers, like a store of value racket, right? That's like storing value for you so you're not racketeering against yourself, or running a racket on yourself, I should say. Incentives are divided up in both systems. Miners mint new BTC by their percentage of the total hash rate. HEX stakers mint new HEX by their percentage of the total shares. How many shares are there? 10.8 million and decreasing, because share price only goes up. Shout out to the share price. Keeping score. Bitcoin mining equals HEX staking. Your hash rate equals your shares. Difficulty equals total shares. Buying more miners equals share price increases. Right? Because you have to keep competing. Right? So what I'm learning from this is that share price is competitive in nature, right? You're competing to stake longer, which actually costs less HEX. Buying more miners, that's the competition that you're incentivizing. Burning more electricity, buying more miners, that's the way you get ahead in Bitcoin mining. But are you really going to get ahead? It's debatable. Block reward equals inflation plus penalties in both situations. Well, I'm not sure what the penalties are in Bitcoin, but I guess those would be the transaction costs. Network protection. In Bitcoin, total hash rate is value invested in the protocol. It protects against 51% hacks. Protection racket. In HEX, share market cap is value invested in the protocol. It protects the HEX price against selling. Yay! Okay. HEX staked times share price equals HEX share market cap. Huh. Oh. Yo, this is why we do this. We're discovering new information about HEX. I have not heard of that. the HEX share market cap. Yo, Quant Gang, get on that. We'll talk about it on Quant Gang. They better not front run me. They probably will. I don't care. HEX is competitive for a reason. It's to give you the most amount of opinions, the most amount of knowledge. My IQ, maybe it's a little bit above average, right? But it's not the amount that like collectively we have, which again is why I cross promote. I say, go follow Whales Only, follow Kareem the Dream, like follow Balliet Brand, right? Follow Joe Hexotic, follow Crypto Coffee, Johnny Chaos. He likes to leave his usernames like, so you kind of have to guess and hunt a little bit, but it's worth it. Discourse Syndicate, Hexologists, right? Like everybody, go to the list of Hex content creators. I'm probably just mentioning the people who I've like seen in the comments most recently. Follow Funding Gym. People I've messaged who are messaging me back on Telegram, like planning all the awesome content we're going to bring you in the future. Hex currently uses, so that is new. That's a new thing. That's exciting. I kind of wondered about that before, but I'm not going to say I wondered about it too much until I'm seeing it here in black and white. HEX currently uses ETH for its 51% attack protection. Well done, HEX. Well done. Competing for incentives. Each Bitcoin mining machine earns less and less Bitcoin over time as difficulty rises. Boom. Look at that. Why do you think Bitmain is holding on to all the miners, testing them for months and months, mining Bitcoin with the latest technology and then selling it to you like it was new? Scammers. Like, call Hex a scam and then tell me what you're doing over there, Bitmain, trying to launch an IPO during the last bull run, and then then you kick out your founder, and it's just sad. Well, it's corrupt and it's enraging, and that's why we have to do HEX therapy before and after we talk about these kinds of things. Profits must be reinvested in newer hardware as older hardware becomes unprofitable. Turn off the miner. It's Big Kurkowski calling, and your miner made him deaf in one or two of his ears because it's so loud. It's so wasteful. And that's why it's proof of waste, not only proof of work, also proof of waste. Why not go with proof of weight? Trademark hex.com/techspecs. Bravo. This is fun. I love learning new things. Generational warfare. Bring it on. In Bitcoin, new miners have an advantage over old miners because they're more energy efficient. True. People are setting up like mining rigs, trying to harvest electricity like at all the different poles. They're trying to go to like the Arctic, right? I mean, that's the thing. They're out there doing it. And the Chinese government subsidizing the cost of electricity for many years. Like, that's an advantage. That could be smart, right? In HEX, it's reversed though. Old stakers have an advantage over new because the share price measured in HEX only rises. On point. What's up? HEX share price used to be 56 cents and went up to $168.89 so far this year, measured in the depreciating dollar, or like we normally call it, the US dollar. T share price in USD. Boom. What's the T share price right now? I don't know. A lot higher than it was before. I know that much. I think it's a couple $100 maybe. I don't know when this was published, but like I said, it's newer than the last time I looked at it. Very well done again. Beating the competition. Let's beat them. Like, get your boxing gloves on for this one, folks. Beating the competition. BTC miners get paid more when other miners turn off their machines. True. Hex stakers get paid more when others close their stakes. I'm talking to you, people who have short stakes out there. Like, get with it. You know, you're going to turn off your goose that laid the golden egg. You know, then you're going to try to buy a new goose that lays golden eggs. Like, what are you thinking? The price of gooses only goes up. You can even call them geese if you want, you know? Beating up the competition for sure. Hex stakers also get a bonus if others close their stakes early or late. Yo, be on time. What else? You're going to pay for that time deposit, that time lock, you know, or you're going to get paid. It's like, what are you trying to do? You trying to get paid? Or are you trying to lose all your money, you know? Inflation. Boom. Inflation is when the numerator increases and the denominator stays the same. Or the denominator, or like the ratio continues to like depreciate. Bitcoin inflated from 0 BTC. True. First block. It was mined with a newspaper article in there talking about how governments, they're printing too much money. Like, you know, talking about how the EU is on the brink of another bailout. It's back in like 2008, 2009. Bitcoin inflated from 0 BTC to 18 million BTC over 10 years with higher inflation earlier on. High inflation. HEX completed its high inflation phase in the first year. True. And the high inflation that's happening now, which is the fact that it's not inflation, it's the fact that the OA is donating coins 40 to 60% a year based on what you have staked long term. Like, that's part of what could have been high inflation in the beginning, keeping the price down, but instead, that's your second Nobel Prize. You're getting it because you're distributing the coins fairly, more than fairly. You're distributing the coins, creating positive price pressure because you're giving it to people who not only were long-term thinkers by accident or by the way that they think, but what do you think is going to happen when you reward people for saving for 15 years? They're going to want to save for another 15 years. Check it out. I'm not even the best version of myself that I'm going to be years to come. I hope, right? Because HEX is rewarding me to be more of a long-term thinker, to be delaying gratification. Like Abit says, ALLin, Bittner, he says it. You know, he's getting ready to go to Acapulco and hang out with Randy. He's out there. He's showing off all of his new HEX swag, like his hat, all of his shirts he's taking off, showing all the other shirts underneath it. Like, you know, that's something he says. Okay, yeah. I got distracted by how cool all of his merchandise is, and I lost my train of thought. Dead air. Okay. So anyway, I'll probably think of it later, but you guys will have to forgive me. It's not, I enjoy doing the monologue. The monologue is fun. We're going to get back to the chat. I don't know how many hours this is going to be, but I'm sure YouTube can always invent a 4x button speed for everybody in HEX who's just going to be so passionate that they're talking about it for so long. Let me see. All right. What did Abit say? That's going to bother me now. All right. So yes, HEX completed its high inflation phase in the first year. You're getting all, he's talking about, Abit's talking about generational wealth, right? So maybe you're going to get so incentivized more than you even know. You're going to be holding longer. It's going to feel good. You're going to have more money than you need. I hope you have more money than you need. I hope you don't give it away just to people and they, you know, they're not doing some good for the world. Right. And, you know, so I hope you save your money. I hope you make generational wealth. That'd be cool. You know, we're going to have to, when we get to Hexarico, when we like found our own country and create like HEX islands, you know, and then we, you know, we have all this generational wealth. We're definitely going to need some good schools to send our kids to, so they don't spend it all on Dogecoin or something. Inflation table, check it out. Wow. Wait, let's actually process this. The year was 2009. The Bitcoins released, way too many. The year was 2010. Bitcoins released, 5 million, 209% inflation. The year, is this right? No, that's the total number of Bitcoins, right? The year, 2011, total number of Bitcoins, 8,001,400. Inflation per annum, 59.4%. On and on every year. You're taking so long, Bitcoin. Why are you taking so long to drop your inflation? Oh, because you were programmed, and then that was the only thing you could get right, was like being scarce and having a known monetary supply. Like, bravo, good job. You know, like that's pretty good. Here's your younger brother Hex coming up to take over the world. You know, you're doing all right, Bitcoin. Doing all right. But still, all right. You know, 34%, 13% inflation, 12% inflation. All right. Now we're getting pretty good. 2015, Maddie finds out about Bitcoin, doesn't understand it at first. 9% inflation. 2016, 7% inflation. 2017, price of Bitcoin in May or something. I don't know. When did I buy my first part of a Bitcoin? Probably May, right? Because the price went higher than the price of gold. Boom. My mind blown. Suddenly understand Bitcoin. Learn as much as I can. Study it for months. Just like people study HEX and get excited about HEX. So now your price is beating gold. After a while, 2019, 2020, wow. Now your inflation rate is beating gold. And now your inflation, it goes down and down and down in the future, right? Good job. Bitcoin inflation versus time. Good job. We like it. Digital scarcity. Few recognize that Bitcoin's price went up faster when it was a younger network with a higher rate of inflation because of multiplying user count. That matters more. The network effects, right? That's the network effects that Richard is talking about. That's the network effect that Whales Only talks about a lot, right? Kareem, everybody, like that matters. Matters more than inflation, believe it or not. That's cool. That's an important lesson for all you for all you people who are going to go become the next economists of the world, because you actually understand how stuff works and you can prove it and be like, boom, I wasn't just lucky, I was right, because I was out here talking real economics whenever y'all were out there talking about modern monetary theory, like printing more is good. You know, like somebody in Chicago told us, you know, John Maynard Keynes said it 100 years ago, so it must be true, you know? He wasn't a creep. He was a creep. HEX stakers make a multiple higher profit in HEX from staking. HEX stakers make a multiple higher profit in HEX from staking than the annual inflation rate. Currently 40% APY on average versus inflation of only about 3.69%. To HEX stakers, inflation is a benefit, not a cost. HEX's inflation is delayed as it's only paid on ended stakes, and many last 15 years on average now, thanks to Kareem's friend and others coming in here in the past couple of days. It's been raised to 5.0 years and a higher average. That's incredible. That's support for the 3 Nobel Prizes that we talked about earlier in this program. That's the proof. Negative externalities. Staking HEX is easy. It doesn't require any know-how, facilities, electricity bills, hardware, or paying one of a few companies and hoping they send you Bitmain sends you working hardware in a timely manner, and it clears customs. Facts. And it works in your facility. True. I never tried to run one. And your breakers can handle the load. My breakers couldn't handle it. Because hex staking is so easy, there's no sell pressure on hex to pay facilities, hardware, maintenance, electricity, decommissioning of old hardware, and buying new. All these expensive externalities, or expensionalities, as I like to call them, right? Compounding. Break it down for me, Maddie. Compounding is simulated by a share price that measured in hex only rises, making each T-share more expensive in hex over time. It's more computationally efficient to reduce new stakes shares by writing a single new share price than it would be to write thousands of compounded shares profit to existing stakers. Very true. Broken down in the Hex conference by Dev Kyle, still featured as the main video for people returning on my YouTube page. Might change it at some point, but 1,600 people saw that separate from the conference. Awesome. This is similar to how Bitcoin updates its difficulty every 14 days. Okay. Imagine watching your staked hex earn more hex while the share price goes up and the USD over BTC over ETH price of hex goes up too. The gains multiply by each other. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. More comparisons? What? Okay. Holy smokes. Wow. We might be here a while. All right. I got to check the comments. It's been like a minute since I checked the comments. Let's see. It's like part 1 of like Maddie reads all the amazing content on the hex.com website, because we're all like out here looking at content. We're discovering things for ourselves on the charts, in the patterns. Random line. Shout out to the random line. You're my favorite random line in Hex. Bifinesse, my take on people who can mask their emotions too well, specifically psychopaths. All right. I know we're hopping around a little bit here. Let me break it down. According to things I learned on the internet, there have been about 10 billion people who ever lived in the world, and now there's like 8 billion people alive. So that right there should blow your mind. That's one of my favorite facts of all time. There's almost the same amount of people alive right now than have ever been alive in the history of humans, going back all the way back to crossover from apes or whatever. The Genesis humans, right? So that means that like for every psychopath that ever lived in history, there's also one psychopath living right now who is just chilling, kicking it, keeping it real, working their way up the corporate ladder to like scam people in politics, to scam people in business, to like, try to merge with AI faster than the rest of us, and like, use all these competitive advantages to screw people over. So like, yeah, a psychopath, that is somebody I would define based on psychology as somebody who doesn't feel bad when they hurt others. They don't feel guilt. It's not an emotion that they feel. You hook them up to an EEG, an EKG, right? A lie detector. It's just measuring the electrical signals that are coming off your body. People, when they hurt others, when they lie, right? Parts of their brain light up. Normal people, they have emotions, right? Other people, a lot of like statistically, a much higher percentage of CEOs in the Fortune 500, they don't feel bad when they screw people over. They don't feel bad when they take advantage of people. And capitalism really rewards that, right? So there are people who can mask their emotions better because they regulate them well. As a therapist, I've been told I regulate my emotions well. I don't leak my emotions on my face as much as other people would. I retain my composure, right? But I'm still feeling, right? I'm out here feeling feelings. Somebody sent me today, they knew I was doing an emotional show. And so they sent me like a clip of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dennis is like, oh, I got married. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling feelings. Like, you know, he's talking to Mac and he's like, you know, feelings like what you felt when you were 14. Mac was like, you don't feel feelings all the time, like since you were 14. It was really funny. But Dennis is like, he plays the character of like kind of a psycho, like somebody who doesn't feel how he should. He's not in touch with his feelings and he uses it to take advantage of other people in a funny way that's very entertaining. But again, if we're talking about, you know, CEOs and people, they're out there, you know, they're charismatic, right? They're able to win a room over without saying much. And then they really steal the show, right? And then they lead you down the wrong path, or they take advantage of you, or they create networks that compete really well. So yeah, I mean that's a problem. But again, there are people who mask their emotions, and then there are people who they don't have their emotions aren't registering with themselves. They can lie, and their brain doesn't know that they're lying like it would for a normal person. I actually, since I worked in the field of psychophysiology, and I actually it's actually through a friend and not through my professional life first that I came to know about the person who the show Lie to Me used to be a popular show, and that was about basically one or two different, it was based on a couple of real scientists who figured out strategies to tell if somebody was lying or not, based on signals. And so like lie detection works to a certain extent, but you can train like a secret agent to be able to beat that. But then there's stuff that's even more advanced, you know, that the military, the government, and like science has put together in order to be able to catch people who are lying. It's kind of interesting. But it's harder to catch people who are better liars or who aren't registering even with their own electrical impulses that they're lying. Appears sweet, then knife ya. That's right. Someone clip it. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. It's crazy they can't see Hex as the real deal. No, they can't. We need the price low for a bit so we can buy more Hex. I'm with you. I'm cool with whatever. Like, but I hope the price doesn't take off too fast. Hex noobs have it so good to have such a breadth of knowledgeable sources to minimize the time it takes to understand how perfect Hex is. You guys, I'm really feeling this stream. Let me run an ad for myself while I go grab another caffeinated beverage so I can keep dropping a lot of knowledge on you. This will only take about 20 or 30 seconds, but I say it's an ad, but it's just like, it's just my new intro clip I have. Enjoy. And we're back. Oh, I should have been like, and we're back. Okay. You could tell we're going to have fun over on Theta. Go ahead and get over there and sign up if you would. It's a place you want to be for sure. You know, don't want to miss out. You know, you got to FOMO in on those Hex badges, you know, so you can get the first edition. It's going to be the coolest. I don't know if you can trade them on Theta or not, but I know you can get them for free and transfer them. So that's what really matters. Good. All right, back to the comments. Back to work, Maddie. Enough breaks. Let's see. Noobs have it good, says Bifinesse. Very true. May never dip back down to 6 cents of a penny. If it was 6 cents now, that somebody would have to tell me that. Well said and agree. Right on. The onboard momentum and people realizing it's not a scam may never allow another 6 tenths of a penny. Sadly. All gains though, regardless, for sure. HEX equals the true cypherpunk movement, what BTC was meant for. Shout out to BG HEX. Follow BG HEX on Twitter. This is the person who hooked me up with the stream key so I can stream on Theta. Thank you so much. I'm going to thank you many times again. So get used to it. 100. Richard nailed it in HEX. Very true. That was smooth. We'll go there now. Thanks, Nardo. Not sure if you're going to hex.com/techspecs or hopefully you're going to Theta too. Theta is good. Fantastic stream. Thank you, Marco. I appreciate it. I'm kind of improvising here, as you can tell, but I'm enjoying streaming with you guys too. Under promise and over deliver. Everyone's happy. Yes, we love it. I'm hoping that the 10,000x that HEX is designed to do, that the haters made fun of early on, that's probably under promising because Bitcoin did 4.5 million X. Richard not promising anyone is an A feature, definitely. Richard straight says, if you want it, build it. Word up. Those who didn't invest based on websites are also living in the early 2000s. Who cares about a website anymore when you have the best product and only product in the crypto space? I agree. And some people care more than others about websites, I guess. Let me just say, you don't want me making your website. Okay. I'll do the therapy. I'll stick to that. Gas fees are really hurting me from purchasing more HEX. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Last night, the gas fees, they dropped for a moment. They didn't drop as low as I wanted them to drop, but it was low enough to where I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I've been talking about it for so long. I think I only did maybe like 2 or 3 MetaMask swaps because I did 2 or 3 buys into HEX like for a while, since maybe since the new year. Because on the new year, everybody else was partying. I was out there trying to get the MetaMask airdrop by like swapping and doing swaps into HEX for like $5 to $10 each. Then, was it 2 nights ago I was looking, because I'm looking into this. I want like the MetaMask airdrop. That's the way. I hope we all get airdrops ad infinitum into perpetuity. Like we might, because I believe the people in HEX are smarter than other people in crypto. And so we're going to keep getting rewarded for that in many different ways. You know, somebody could come along and make a coin like, I don't know. I mean, they could make a coin just for people who are having longer stakes in the system, like airdrop something. There's a lot of things, but the MetaMask airdrop, I'm just saying, I created several wallets as I was talking about it. I like to practice what I preach. But I kept talking about it because, like, again, I wish I would have made more on New Year's Eve, but you know, that's how much liquid ETH I had at the time. Like, that's what I could do. I could have done a slightly better strategy. Instead of converting into HEX, and then, you know, like I could have converted into USDC and then sent that, and then, you know, maybe converted into HEX later on or something. doing more transactions for cheaper, because converting to HEX takes a little bit more processing power than, or computational cost than converting to USDC, I believe. And also, just like sending ETH takes less ETH than sending HEX, right? The cost to convert, I can't remember whether it was to HEX. I think it was to HEX, but it might have been to USDC 2 or 3 nights ago when gas was all the way up at 350 or 300, something crazy. It's like $100 or $200. I couldn't do that. It's not going to happen. But last night it fell down to like $35 to $40 to convert from ETH to USDC. So I did open another handful of wallets so I could swap. That's really expensive. That's an expensive bet. I'm getting to the point. Like, I'm getting to the point where these are expensive bets, right? Like, so I'm not recommending that to other people. If you're not, like, you're literally losing that money. If MetaMask doesn't do an airdrop, you're never going to get those gas fees back. Let me tell you, those miners are, they're gone. They're out of here. They took your money. They're not giving it back. But, that's what I'm doing. I'm making that bet. So, I spent some ETH on that. Like I said, I'm really bad at holding on to ETH. Like, I always want to do something with it. Convert it into HEX, launch, the first version of HEX badges that cost several $100s in ETH to process those smart contracts. MetaMask swaps eating up all your fees. Hopefully we all get rewarded with MetaMask. But again, doing the swap on desktop, that's the way you would qualify. And you would know because you could go to etherscan.io and you can look and you could see it went through the MetaMask router. So you can go to your address and you can look just like it would say if you went through the Uniswap router. And if you did that before they did their airdrop, that's when you got the $1,200 worth of Uniswap that's worth like $8,000 now or something. Your HEX that you converted back then is also worth like $8,000 or something. Okay. You want to get on a certain exchange, do it yourself. I love that. Definitely. This is epic. Thank you. Let's see. I lost my place. Okay. Yeah, you guys have been commenting a lot. I figured as much. I'm glad. Okay, here we go. This is epic. I think we have enough anyways. Let's go to the moon. Yeah. Woohoo. Let me see. Rabies Ratatat. First of all, your name is fire. There's only 3 things people care about in this world. And like Pokemon and crypto, definitely 2 of them. Peter Schiff. Yep. He's pretty shifty, isn't he? Well, I guess he keeps his points about gold. I mean, I used to listen to gold bugs before I knew about like better forms of money. Having a monetary policy where the gold supply only increases 2% a year, whenever the US dollar is liable to randomly spike up 40% of its supply in a year and a half, like, it's not the end of the world. Maybe we should market more to gold bugs. I've gotten some people who are into gold to appreciate HEX and get some. What if HEX site was designed to push those who would only judge based on looks and miss the entire product and its potential? There you go. More people, the better. I think that's why Richard is doing it, right? I think that's why he's down to improve the website and let people do it. Bit how I see people reacting emotionally to Richard's words and attitude. Yeah, like some people get triggered, right? Like Richard, he's not going to hold back on his thoughts and feelings. That's another good reason to trust him, I will say though, like there are so many genius things that I believe are in the design of HEX. And I believe that some of them might be by accident, but many of them are by design. And so, I mean, that's something to consider. Like, I don't know. If I was Richard, it would be really hard for me to like not, it'd be really hard for me to not like spill the tea or like spill the beans, as like old people would say it. But like, it would be hard for me to not spill the tea on like everything just because I'd be so excited about it. That's kind of my personality though. You know, I can't wait to tell you guys about getting over to Theta and getting these like inaugural HEX badges that are going to blow your mind. And this is like what I'm in crypto for. Hashtag mental health, right? I couldn't keep it a secret if I wanted to. I'm too excited about it. So props to Richard for like being so open and honest about everything. Also props to him for leaving meat on the bone. Like, if people understood, you know, I kind of feel like it's a game sometimes. Sometimes I feel like Richard, he's understands stuff so deeply and like he releases tidbits along the way, but like it seems like such a big feast of information. And whether that's how it is or not, that's how I prefer to think about it. Like, the story of HEX is unraveling. It's like when Wales Only says like, you know, the kind of the rope theory of stuff, like, you know, it's all intertwined and like, you know, you discover it as you unwind the rope. We're supposed to be long game. We're supposed to be long gone by now. Sorry to disappoint. There you go. The truth is truth. However it is delivered, it stands on its own. Peter Schiff. Let's see. I got banned by Cash App too, Maddie. I don't feel bad. Exactly. I haven't gone live as much, but you do that too. Definitely. Cryptomatic Def. I do things sometimes too. I've lost track of where we're at this point, but let's see. Thus, about types of people in a population: pioneers, prospectors, and settlers. Look up VSLUE modes. Not sure if that's a typo or not. Value modes. Value modes is a segmentation tool in the United Kingdom. Psychographic mapping system, which looks at the values that underlie behavior. Behavior is generally a strong determinant of opinion. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark that. I want to learn more about that. I want to understand more about the psychology of finances, because I think like, okay, so for example, if you go and look at game theory or you look at any form of economics on Wikipedia, it's going to give you like probably like literally like 40 different branches of the same thing, because people haven't consolidated and figured out what they're talking about and keep like overwriting each other and coming up with different names for the same thing, like not describing something super well. That looks like meat on the bone to me. Quality control, organics, and we are pioneers and prospectors. I like that. The prospectors part, I like pioneers too. We're out here prospecting, right? It's a gold rush. Great point. In some ways, it was designed like that. Make it look scammy intentionally to keep those superficial and shallow people out. Yes. Many of us make similar points, and you know, we learn from Richard, we learn from each other, then we have our own original ideas. A lot of times those overlap, right? Because we're all interested in understanding deeper, because it's exciting, right? Like, I find this more exciting than sports. Now, there's a lot of people out there, and I mean a lot of people, who are more into sports than I am. They're more into sports than they are understanding what money is, right? But There's two types of people who understand hex now and people who will. Those who don't care about looks could find a deep rabbit hole full of beauty and wonder that you can only attain after you spent the time to learn about it. That's poetic right there. Biffines says, Richard is such a master. He steelmans his opponent's views and arguments. Who does that? Brilliant. I forget what steelman. I need to brush up on my, I'll tell you guys when I don't know something. Because I know I'm going to learn something. So there's like straw man, steel man. It's like steel man. Oh, steel man is like when you, I didn't even have to look it up. Steel man is when you argue against yourself just to show, or you invite others to argue against you to show, to make your own stronger, to make your own argument stronger, for sure. Crash app. Yo. Count it. Crypto 303 out here with the gags. Crash app. Let's see. Me left on the bone means that the rocket ship shuttle to Saturn will be a fleet of ships. That is correct. Another thing I'm trying to remember. Why is it Saturn? Is it so Saturn has rings? Like one of the rings is a hex ring. We'll get to it. These comments are piling up, but somebody will educate me here one of these times. I bought ETH at $3, sold at 36. Thought you killed it, Nardo. I mean, I would say you did. We always wish we bought more ETH back when it was cheap. I only bought one ETH at $20, and it was off the Economist article talking about the Dow. Luckily, I wasn't advanced enough to figure out how to put my money in the Dow and lose it. But I guess they forked anyway, right? I think they forked it off. So therapy creates diamond mines. We have diamond mines, diamond hearts, diamond hands in hex. Well put. Yes. Let's see. What's up, Maddie? What's up, Nate J? Sammy Chica Hex Princess. She loves Richard, giving him 4 kisses and 2 hearts. Hexarican does as well. He can be a bit rough around the edges, but so are diamonds until polished. Well put. Any new calls? Asks Crypto Frontier. The latest call came out on Tuesday. Random line showing darn near $16 for Hex at the end of the year. I mean, it's fractals. We don't know what the price is going to be. We don't know when people are going to buy. We don't know how many friends Kareem has that are going to be putting in like mad amounts of money, but we know what a single buy order would do. Check out the Hex Quant Gang, or check out my retweets if you want to look it up faster. He's brought us an actual product to help others and not wreck them. Word. I like some people. I love my cat. That is correct. We got your cat. My cat's just okay. Ski Cat is the best Hex cat we got. Excellent. Every paycheck I get from this new job is going straight to buy more T-shares. That's what's up. Quit pumping. I want to buy more under a penny. You're swimming into Hex over here. Benny Blanco, changing his name. Benny Bilzerian. Okay. Benny Bills. I am not staking under 10 years anymore. I wouldn't ask you to. I've been getting more T-shares when my Hex stakes end by restaking lots, if not all of it, longer and farther. It's all about those T-shares, baby. Rise up in the ranks. That's right. What's up, Maddie? What's up, Hexicans? Tuning in. OX Benji. What up? I love the longer pays better bonus. Big, fat, and juicy stakes. That's right. Feel the rise. They effed us when they took us off the gold standard back in the 1970s. Correct. I agree. You're right. I keep moving up the dolphin ranking, and all I do is restake everything longer and bigger. Well done, Hex Dex. My old boss from the oil field called me today. Someone told him I was into crypto. He asked if he should buy Dogecoin. Gotta dodge it. I had a nice 2-hour rant about a little thing I call Hex. He took notes. Now he sees. Well done, Bitfinesse. The any old boss of yours is an old boss of mine, and sounds like a oil baron. And if he's cool with you, he's cool with me. We'll get him into Hex, or I guess you will, but I'll cheer you on. As will Benny and others. Once we get fiat to Hex on the staker app, game is over. That's right. And you know, if you want to onboard a high net worth individual, go ahead, let them know they can buy a smart app. So they can buy a smart wallet from Staker app, skip the line. It's about $60 at current ETH prices. Then they'll be able to set up a staking ladder. If your buddy wants to go only one stake, maximum 5555, then they don't need the new Staker app, right? If they want to do more than one stake and they want to spread it out equally over 15 years, that's when you want the smart wallet, because you can do like 15 stakes in one. And I think it's about the same price as a single stake. Don't quote me on that because I haven't done it myself yet, but I think it is. So that's the only situation. If they don't want to spread equally over 15 years, if they want to go year 10 to 15, that's not built into Staker app yet. So they might have to pay like mad fees in order to do that. Or I don't know, maybe you want to tell them to do a 2-year stake, and a 15-year stake, right? I don't know what my latest buddies who are getting into this, I don't know what they're going to want to do. I'm going to recommend that they do the longest one first and then work their way back. But, it's up to them. Let's see. Mind you, they never stopped collecting gold. Their system was so strong, they didn't even have to hold themselves or the money accountable. That's when everything went to being a number in a computer. Well put. Now I know what part of the rants I got to when these comments were being left. I know China's been buying it all up in the last 10 years, gold, but stole it from the people as the conquistadors did stealing from native people. Bitfinesse, the question I have, did you make a new hexagon? I bet he did. His whole family are hexagons now. Bitfinesse is birthing whole families of hexagons every 2 hours. It's amazing. I was wondering if they were going to move the Chinese renminbi onto a gold standard. Oh, they're going to move it onto a fiat standard for sure. Toby Wan's looking for the follow. Maddie, market cap equals token in circulation by token price. Correct. That's what's so different about what we're seeing on the website now, that it's specifically mentioning a share cap, which is different than a market cap. The market cap's already calculated everywhere. But the share cap, that's something, I don't believe that's a typo. I believe that's new thinking. Because the market cap of Hex the coin, not factoring in the T shares, that doesn't actually account for everything in the system, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that makes sense to look at as well. We want to look at both. Because the T-share market is That's not a vanity metric, right? That's like a truth metric. Yo, you heard it here first. Unless somebody else already said it, then you heard it here second. I gave him the goods. Hit him hard with the facts. That's right. And they did make having gold illegal back in the 1930s and do a huge gold grab. They bought it from everybody at a low price and then pushed the price up and redistributed it. Banks have always been a scam. True. They rewrite history, right? Just today or yesterday, one of the days, the Federal Reserve chairman was out there like, oh yeah, like unemployment is 5%. Like, by the way, it's actually 10%, but we're saying it's 5%. So the real rate is higher. Like, get out of here. Like, you just admitted all the numbers are cooked. We knew that, but either lie to us or don't. Stop changing your story. Or keep changing it. I don't care. That's true though. You just reminded me. I have a friend who's about my age, and she was telling me about how in her country of origin, which is not the United States, it's actually Brazil, like her parents and their parents, like there used to be gold just like lying around their hometown. Like you could just go hiking or go, I don't know, go walking and you just run into like big piles of gold everywhere. And they sold it for like super cheap. And then now all their money's gone, like because that's imperialism. That's banks being a scam, like they didn't know that they were holding on to diamonds. They didn't know they were holding on to gold. It seems like that's how the system really works. Like whenever value is identified, it's people try to separate it from the people who are having it, right? And that's theirs, but it's taken away from them. We don't have that same worry in HEX, because in HEX, you mint your own coins. You hold your own private keys. You're not waiting around for an exchange to send it to you. You might have to wait for some ETH to be able to buy in, but when you're in, then it's yours. Market share cap equals HEX staked times HEX price. That's in US. Yeah, okay. That sounds right. HEX 101 with Toby One coming soon. Thanks for the super chat. At 2B1971 on Twitter for all my links. There you go. Well done. And HEX Dex, 80% of all coins bought is on the Ethereum last 7 days. All of the coins bought was on. I'm losing track. I'm losing track of what we're on, but no wonder the gas is still crazy. Oh, people have been buying a lot. Okay. So somebody's got their boxing mittens on, their boxing gloves. They're not mittens. Bitcoin still hit all-time high. Good job. That's just more money to come into HEX. Yes. Goose eggs only go up as long as they keep popping out of the goose, I suppose. More like a summary button. New HEX music video coming in March. Kicking off HEX 101 with Toby One, live staking and TA. Thank you again for the super chat, my friend. Golden HEX eggs. Not as smooth as your typical oval egg for the goose to birth, but hey, we got some hardworking geese, and they're spitting out the HEX shaped eggs over here. Shout out to Crypto Sparbuck. Play the video of Kyle's. Okay, no, we just got monetized on YouTube. I think, I don't know. I clicked the button and then it disappeared. So, there's lots of rules about what's allowed and what's not. Nate J, loved the show. Lie to Me. It was phenomenal. Awesome. Yeah. That was based on Paula Ekman, like facial coding system, and then a couple other people too. Let's see. It's not that easy to see. LOL. Maybe I said something funny. Hex badge. That's right. Just signed up to Theta this morning. Go ahead and follow theta.tv/MATI Maddie ALLin. Let's see. All the way, all the fives. 5555, baby. It's really going to be beautiful knowing all of you over the years while we all change our lives over time. It brings a cool tear to my eye. Friendships of a lifetime. Yes. Beautifully put. Use Changely to buy Hex. Cheaper fees. I've used it 3 days ago. Okay. I've heard other people say that. People have all kinds of ways to onboard. I started writing a Medium article and then it was just like too many ways that I haven't tried. So I'm going to try to get more knowledgeable about all the different ways people are using. And then I'll add that to the list. Where's my list? Sometimes you kind of have to make a note while it's happening. Otherwise, it's too much to keep track of. Thanks, Nate J. We want to get people in. We don't want to put all of their economic energy only into the exchanges and not into their own pockets. I did the same. RH said in a tweet, they might only do one airdrop per seed. How would they know that it would be per seed? I wonder. They might be able to see that. How the other airdrops have worked is they've marked on the blockchain what router you used, and that's part of the record that you can see on etherscan.io. So that would be my first guess. If you could tell me maybe which Richard speech that was in, or I could try to search. I could search the timestamps, which is something I would recommend that people do if you're ever trying to find something that Richard said. Either use your browser and look into it that way, or just go to his YouTube videos and search, I believe, Crypto Vince and maybe others, or maybe it's just Crypto Vince, who's been providing those timestamps. Is super helpful. And so I would probably search for airdrop, probably is the keyword. Why are you not doing it on Saturday and Sunday? Way less gas fees. Because it dropped lower than it did that I saw over the weekend. It was last night. It was just temporary. I don't think it stayed that low. It was going up while I was still doing it. I've been looking the last 2 weekends and I've seen high gas fees during those times. I don't know. I've seen Hexo and other people show off like a time graph of the past of what the gas prices were. And so, but still, I mean, yeah, I've just been manually checking it. Should I perform a swap in MetaMask? Here's what I can say. Not financial advice, not telling you what to do. These fees are hefty. I don't know your financial situation. Oh, that's funny. You already said no financial advice. So you really do want me to answer the question. Should I perform a swap in MetaMask? If you're already going to perform a swap, then you definitely should do it in a new MetaMask in a new seed. Like, why not? You know, Sammy Chica, she says that Richard Hart said it's by seed. I don't remember hearing that, but it's not that much extra work. Like the Uniswap airdrop, that's $1,200. That was per address, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was per address. So, but then again, I mean, I normally do swaps like on different addresses, which are different seeds. So I don't know. But the point is, you can make sure that you don't overwrite your seed words that you already have. So make sure that you're not overwriting those, because I'm definitely not going to be responsible. That's probably worse than emergency end-sigging yourself. Like, so make sure you have your keys backed up, double, triple check that you have them backed up. You know, you can go in and look at what they are to match them up and make sure that you have them written down correctly. You don't have to overwrite your seed words anyway, so I wouldn't even recommend doing that. It's not worth getting an airdrop that nobody promised you if you're going to screw up what you already have. With that being said, what I've been known to do is to get on a whole nother browser, on a whole nother computer, maybe if I have another computer, and then just make completely fresh, new seed words, address, everything, right? And then I know I'm not screwing up any of my old stuff. That's what I did, right? And then because I wanted to like advance myself even further into more complicated things that I don't necessarily recommend everybody else do, because it's not as elegant of a solution, was to start creating in Google Chrome different profiles, which isn't going to my understanding, which is not full, wasn't overwriting anything, you know, but I still make sure I have everything backed up when I'm messing around on stuff like that. So creating a new profile for me didn't create any problems with my old profile. And then I'm installing MetaMask on a separate profile on Google Chrome, which is different from the profile that I already have set up. And then I can create multiple profiles that are going to have multiple seed words. And I can make multiple addresses in there or a single one. If it's true that it's possible to do an airdrop per seed, and that there's some way they can see that when they create the tokens and airdrop them, then it would probably be worth doing it on separate ones, separate seeds. Okay, good questions. We sometimes forget to go on an exchange out there and verify. If that's true, we should verify for the price. The other platforms, time like now. Solid advice. Predictions on Richard's message about selling stakes on other networks. Don't mess with it. You guys, like, it might be super cool to have tradable stakes, but do you want to move fast and break things? Like, I've spoken out against tradable stakes because there's such a strong history of scams in the space. And at the same time, I don't want to discourage people or alienate people who are doing that. Show me the finished product. Show me the audit, and then show me what you built. Right? What is the name of the site that you mentioned? HEX. He has said some more luck, some hard work. Joe Hexotic, I haven't seen him in here. When the stream began, my reception was garbage, so I rewound a few minutes for a smooth play. Now I can't catch up because it's certain that I will miss real value. Your streams are dense. Great job. Thank you, Bitfinesse. No website, just facts. Okay. Traffic on ETH is 80% higher. Oh, 80% higher. The traffic than Bitcoin. More things being built on it. I believe it. Absolutely. This is why it will pass it sooner rather than later. The pole of Saturn is hex shaped. Ah, thank you. I'll write that down. Thank you, Sir Edwards Trichome. QC Organics, everlasting hexagonal storm type thing. Well, we like tweet storms from Richard. We like storms of buying. We are in the Jubilee, the 50th year since Nixon's gold standard in 2021. Oh, I love it. Where do I go to pay for it? Maddie ALLin, HEX Therapy. No, you must pay the price of a single transaction times the number of transactions to do, because in the back end, the smart contract sends it one by one. The benefit, you pay for one all at the same time. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's important. Talking about the staker app there. And what the advantage is the convenience there to be able to do all of them at the same time. Do you think ETH gas will affect HEX? The more valuable the block space is, the higher the USD price will be. And then the higher the USD price of ETH, the higher the price of HEX will go, all other things equal. So I think it will increase the price of HEX because both are providing an outstanding value that's not matched. I mean, if you think even $100 or $200, like, I know we hate it. I know it makes us like invest more up front, but really, like, you're like creating a stake. I know we all did it super cheap early on, but like creating a stake, that's like a holy thing. That is I mean, I don't want to be sacrilegious. What I'm saying is it's extremely special what you can do in HEX to lock it up. Deserves 3 Nobel Prizes. You know, a lot of times, I mean, I don't know how much I've said this publicly, but a lot of times I'm thinking to myself, like, I think the universe really wants like me to promote HEX because things just line up so perfectly. Like the conference lining up, like just streaming, all the people who support me out there in the HEX community, right? Like getting the stream key from BG HEX, like for Theta. You guys, like, Theta is amazing, okay? And I know I keep plugging it, but what do you expect, right? Like when your dreams come true, when like I'm out here trying to learn like how to program, and I wouldn't call myself a programmer, right? I'm out here like trying to grasp at straws of how I can make this HEX badges thing work. Like you guys have no idea. Like I got some really cool ideas for HEX badges to incorporate mental health and programmable money. And I'm excited about it. And so I really think like, I think the universe is lining things up. And so I could be wrong. You know, the price of HEX, it could go down for a while, but it seems like there are plenty of people to, you know, buy when other people are fearful and be greedy when there's blood in the streets, you know? Its effects, no, but it affects a little bit because some people can't afford to pay. Yeah, can't afford to pay the gas price for a small stake. So you're not doing small stakes. It's like, what else is there to worry about in HEX? There's like a million things you could worry about in Bitcoin. You could worry about a bug. How many people are worried about a bug in HEX? Because I'm not seeing any bug comments. Like when people could feel really safe about something. All right, but I understand. Like I feel you on the fees because you're looking at something and the number went up 40 or 100x, right? And so, but that's why Richard made a tweet. He said, "Oh, looks like people are making it so you can port smart contracts to other stuff." Like literally, like the crypto market is competitive. Like there are people out there building solutions to the problems we're having in HEX because there's a huge ecosystem that's experiencing worse problems because they're building things that are based on transactions, high throughput, high volume, right? Every time somebody buys an NFT, like that's like super expensive, high priced NFT, like what's going on there, right? Like they have to worry about the price of HEX, they have to worry about the price of ETH way more. People who are launching scammy smart contracts and stuff, they have to worry about the price of ETH way more than we do. We just get to sit back and see what gets developed to solve our problems. That's why Hex is built on ETH, because that's where all the development is happening. And that's where the solutions are going to happen more than probably the problems. Not as easy to birth, cracking me up. Have a look at Molly's tweet from today. Just tweet it to me. I'm only doing it because it's you, Sammy, because it's you, Molly. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. You guys, you're not leading me into the wrong place. It's worth like the 20 seconds it took me to verify that this is super helpful for our stream right here to keep the information integrated and updated. You guys rock. Thank you so much for giving us this breaking news. I've been seeing clients all day, doing therapy, and then getting ready just for you guys to be able to do this therapy stream. So I appreciate. I haven't been able to download the Twitter updates to my brain yet. So it says here from Motley Investor, good guy, follow him, cross promote. It's the way. Everyone with this hashtag MetaMask, hashtag airdrop, be careful. According to Richard, it may behoove you to create a new seed instead of just a new wallet. He hasn't been wrong too often. I would listen. And he's showing how many accounts are in your MetaMask. And then Richard's following up. I'm only asking because I was thinking of releasing a tool to check ERC20 balances across accounts. Those hoping for an airdrop, LOL. If MetaMask were to ever, why not just do one per seed? Huh. Interesting. That would allow them to stop people from gaming the system as much. People who game this system would be more likely to dump the tokens. So if that's logistically possible for them to do, that would be what they would want to do from a game theory perspective. I think that would be the most financially responsible thing to do. Not everybody can be like Richard Hart, creating a new coin with the UTXO set from a Bitcoin snapshot and then cut out all the whales, right? Not everybody can do that. Sorry, people. Crypto Vince is the bomb. Link or instructions for your badges? Well, the original badges, you can go to t.me/hexbadge, or you can go to hexbadge.io. You could probably go to hexbadges.io too, because I'm a fan of being protective of my brand. And so, people are, I've already got statistics on how many people joined t.me/hexbadges. So I'm glad I got the different domains to back up the project, because we don't want a scammer coming in taking hexbadges.io and then, pretending to be me or something. So those are the instructions. You find the instructions at t.me/hexbadge for the old ones. But the update that I'm just saying today is you can message me on Telegram, and I'll give you a cheaper way to mint those badges before we take them down, and take down the ones that haven't sold yet and haven't been given away. And then the new system, you're going to go to theta.tv/Matty ALLin, 1T, MATI, ALLin. And then you might qualify for one just by following the channel or by showing up to the first stream. Thank you, Sammy. Let's see here. The spirit of Daniel Goleman and Daniel Kahneman runs deep through this stream and HEX. Oh, wait a second. Be careful. Kahneman, that sounds like one of those Nobel Prize guys who got the Nobel Prize for saying that people suck at saving without providing any solutions. I have a bone to pick with those guys, Kahneman and Tversky, fathers of behavioral economics. Like, y'all think you're so cool, right? Because you're calling everybody stupid. And all you other people who are deciding who wins a Nobel Prize, you're sitting around in your ivory towers talking about how, oh, you're so smart. Everybody else is stupid. We have to use freaking, we have to use like scammy 401ks to force everybody to save. But really, all the money is just being held by a bunch of psychopath politicians and stock market hedge funds and other people with corrupt centralized intentions. And that's your solution. You're actually making the system worse. Now, I will say, you know, if you are coming up with the idea to even look at this behavior, the behavior of rationality in finance, if you're starting this, you are like creating the psychology of economics, then all right, good for you. Maybe you deserve it a little bit, but I'm still pissed at you. You suck. I'm sorry. Let's see. Daniel Kahneman, Vernon Smith, Robert Schiller. Yeah. Talk about a shill. Richard Thaler. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And then these guys parade around on like, you know, traditional media talking about how great they are. Like, oh, we did such a good job. We got everybody to save because they can't save for the, like, if you're an economist and you understand psychology, why aren't you talking about how central banks are corrupt? They keep printing money and that's why people can't save. Like, we're going to have more rants about them in the future. Stay tuned. Richard Thaler and Daniel Kahneman. Like, I'm going to put you on blast repeatedly. You're going to rue the day you ever showed up and started spouting so much wrong economic theory and making the world a worse place by centralizing power more, which is part of the problem that you're saying. You're saying that people are bad at saving. You're saying people are broken. Sorry, people aren't broken. Money's broken. Get it straight. Don't buy HEX. Don't want you in my coin. It's not my coin, but you don't deserve the mad gains that are coming. You were wrong. You led the world in a wrong direction. As far as I can tell, you're even worse than all the people who did Alzheimer's research for 20 years in the wrong direction, spending billions of dollars. And then you found out that plaques and tangles was not the problem. That was just the side effect. Like, I'm just saying, sleep research had the answer. You want to stop Alzheimer's from developing, do what I do and wear a Philips device you can get. It was one of my first HEX Therapy shows. I'm literally wearing like what looks like a headband or something. It monitors your brainwaves and it sends basically binaural beats that are slow waves into your ears while you sleep. So you get amazing slow wave sleep as if you were much younger or much healthier than you really are. And, you know, like, stop being bad at science, people. Stop living in your ivory towers, assuming you know everything. Why don't you prove something? Why don't you create a product that helps people and makes the world a better place instead of spitting a bunch of knowledge, pretending that you're so smart and then not even changing the game, getting Nobel Prizes? Like, you don't. We're going to create some HEX badges and it's going to say like, you did the wrong thing, like in memory of like all you economists who don't even deserve the title, or crypto-onomist, you are not. Done. End rant. But take Crypto 303, like, you're always solid with the points. I'm just like, you just stumbled into something that I got a bone to pick. Like, I really like you, so I hope you don't take offense. I'm going after your guys there. Maybe they're not your guys. But like, honestly, you are right. What you're saying is that behavioral economics, what it should have been, is running deep through this stream. And that is on point. And I appreciate you making that point. Without you, I could not have stumbled upon this rant that I really wanted to rant on for a long time. It's like, I'm not going to curse because we're getting, like, you know, we're getting that $2 of ad money now, you know, whatever. I think the channel, I think if YouTube makes $2 off this, then they're going to show us to another 100, 200 people. It's going to change their life. So I'm not doing it for the $2. I'm doing it for the reach. People need to hear about these economists who have not made the world a better place. If money was getting better and not worse with fiat, I think we would know about it, right? Because the price of things would go down instead of going up. So keep patting yourself on the back, you guys. You behavioral economists. But what we're out here doing, we're going to be making real behavioral economics that is based on behavior change economics, which is provable, because when you change behavior, when you make it so people, you can actually measure and verify in a transparent system that people are saving their money longer, that's making people smarter by having smarter money. And it's not blaming people for being stupid with their money, because actually central banks are being stupid with their money, right? And they're forcing people to get rid of money as soon as it comes in, because the value of things keeps going higher. That is the rational thing to do. So y'all can sit around and tell us that it's not rational to spend money. Oh, you should save. You should save. What are you going to save in? You're going to put all your money into the stock market where AI is gambling around with it, giving you a worse price. Citadel is paying Robinhood to turn off your buy button. That's what you're going to. Oh, you don't have that many choices of what you can do with your money before saving it becomes actually the irrational thing to do. If you want to save your money, exit the system, right? Get into Bitcoin, get into Ethereum, get into HEX, right? But like, just like Bitcoin never lived up to what it was supposed to be because a bunch of people got involved who have bad intentions, I believe behavioral economics, you can say you're the godfather of it, but you're not my godfather of behavioral economics. Nah. Drop the mic. I don't want to mess up the mic. NFT equals CryptoKitties 2.0. No effing thanks. It's what Richard says about NFTs, except hex badges, because hex badges are not designed to be speculated upon for price. They're not designed to steal all your money, making you think you have something that's more valuable than it is. Hex badges are designed to be, I mean, I wouldn't even, it is an NFT. I want you to know that it lives on the blockchain. So like that we have a record of it now that, you know, you got this award, but you're not reselling it, right? And so, you know, the ones that we've already released, they were programmed to not be resellable. Then I found a way to make them cheaper, like down from like $40, which is making back the gas to launch it, and then making the gas is like $20 to just buy it and move it from one place to another, one address to another, because it's so expensive. Like if I send it to you, then it might only be like $5 or $10 to send it to you, so you can get it at a discount. I was looking into a way to do it for only 30 cents instead of $20. That was on the wax system that people are shilling expensive NFTs that are no thank you. But a 30-cent transaction, a HEX badge, I'm not trying to charge. Like, I don't want a bad reputation. I'm not trying to charge more than it's really costing me. I mean, you know, like my reputation in this community is worth more to me than whatever like little amount of money I'm going to be able to scam people out of. Like, I would rather create value and create a reputation that, you know, like I've got enough HEX. Like, I don't need to scam you out of your HEX. It would be cool to make this streaming thing like profitable one way or another, but like, you know, that's not how things work really usually. Like, I'm not expecting, just like you're not expecting anything from Richard. I'm not expecting anything from Richard. I'm not expecting anything from you. You don't have to expect anything from me. Like, we're all here because we want to be. Like, you know, people tip me sometimes. Thank you to the people who tip me. That allows me to like upgrade the equipment a little bit, you know, get a PC so it doesn't sound like my computer is like melting every time I run OBS. Then that should allow me to do some special effects, be able to run on Theta, which should allow to create NFT badges that are free, not even requiring 30 cents to transact. Like, that is the future of what I'm talking about, which is like recognizing people for doing mentally healthy things. That's what's up. Crypto kitties, I mean, they're ugly anyway. So sorry if I'm fudding your bag. Also not sorry. Now Pokemon, I'm not going to tell you to invest in Pokemon, but I don't want you fudding my bag either, because I might have some good ones. I haven't checked yet. I'm too busy creating HEX content. I'm so dumb. Just buying into HEX has been the side effect of making better habits and decisions. Yes. What up, Parlay from far away? What's up with you? I'm feeling good. You never know. I never know how long I'm going to stream when I stream. Hope I'm not going over anybody else, but if I am, like, catch it on the replay. Talking my talk. That's right. Didn't know that. I thought Kahneman was the fast thinking and slow guy. It might be. That could be a common last name. I'm just glad that I thought of the behavioral economics person, because oh, you're saying I'm fast thinking and slow? Like, I'll take it. I've been called worse. No, I appreciate you. You're always saying funny stuff. They're too deep in the establishment. That's right. You know, I'll be honest. Like, I was thinking about going into economics recently, and then I realized what HEX was, and sorry, like, you know, cancel application. Talk your talk. I'm talking, calling them out. That's right. Sleep research happens at the uni near me in Surrey. There you go. Yeah. We like research in general. Like, research is good when it's done well, which is like rare, but there is overall, I used to be a researcher, so I'm kind of salty. Not salty. I just know how it is. And I know it's really hard to do good research for a lot of reasons. This stream has been a classic. Thank you. So Bitcoin is digital gold. ETH is digital oil. Does that make HEX digital interest? I think it does. Bingo. Let's see. Okay. No offense taken. I'm glad. Whales only, laughing and crying. It's all about incentives. Well put. Save what? Especially when the dollar itself is losing value every day. Break the mic. I'm going to drop it so hard, I'm going to break it. I don't know. It seems destructive unnecessarily. Like, I think I donated my guitar, but I would smash it just for the glory. My son's father is the head of economics at the university where I live. It's astonishing how consistently wrong he is. I just don't understand how they maintain credibility. How? I haven't looked into it that much, you know? I was interested in going into neuroeconomics because my background is in integrative neuroscience and psychology, which is pretty specialized. I think like whenever the printing press goes burr, like to the tune of trillions and trillions of dollars, I think you can make up stuff and be super smart, and then you can pretend like you're right, incredible. But I mean, yeah, they don't. I mean, Richard says, like, if economists were so smart about money, then they would be rich, and they're not. So that's a good point. Nobel Prizes are worth less than a participation trophy. Well, it's definitely worth less than a certain number of T-shares. We can say that for sure. Crypto kitties equals no. Crypto something else. Okay, then. You can read it on yourself in the chat. I'm at least trying to keep it, I don't know, PG-16, something like that. Or PG-12. I don't know. Because I read like every, like YouTube, once you make partner, it will tell you every single line, like where the line is on every little thing. Like it was like overwhelming me with knowledge of like where the lines are, to the point where like, okay, I'm not like going to be showing too much skin, but that's super interesting to know like all the details of how you define that, so that people who want to follow the rules can. And like, there's all these suggestions about, you're allowed to use this much profanity, like, or you could bleep yourself out, but like, then if you're bleeping yourself out too much and you're using too much profanity, then like you're getting demonetized. But really what it's doing is it's sending algorithms through your stream looking to see your word identification, how many times you use bad words, and then choosing automatically how much to extend your reach. So I think it's like, it's fun, to like be on discourse or like be on streams where, people are speaking freely. Right. And that's kind of more the ethos of crypto. But for me, I just kind of want to do something different, at least. And that way, as a community, we can get more reach. On a roll. Research. Research is time consuming, for sure. Oh, and like, yeah, I don't think if you're profaning in the comments, I don't think that's a problem. I just wanted to throw that out there. There's something I learned last night, like as I'm reviewing, because I do put effort and time into like understanding how the streaming world works. Something I'm new to. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Like I've created content for a long time before HEX. And done media production just as a hobby, but it was now I feel like I'm in the big leagues. So I'm trying to up my game and do things right and understand really how these things work, how the algorithms work, how to engage new people. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be selling out, like anytime soon, or hopefully at all. But if like it's going to help our community to like use a few less bad words, or like hint about how I feel about these behavioral economists, like not say it in such explicit terms, well, I'm pretty sure you're going to know what I mean. Pretty sure we're gonna get the point across one way or another. You can get more reach by not cursing so much. Okay, cool. Hey, just went buy one and MetaMask was not one of the wallets listed. Just went buy one. Was not one of the wallets listed. I'm not sure what you mean. MetaMask swap is on desktop only. I don't know if that helps. Research is time consuming too. Oh yeah. Oh, big time. When you're doing it right, when you're controlling for as many variables as possible to get the highest signal to noise ratio. Facts. Hey, I caught up with the chat. What up, chat? Okay, so what did we learn today? Time for the summary. We learned that Maddie hates behavioral economists who think they're so cool and they're not. Let me see. Just went to buy one. MetaMask was not one of the wallets listed for the badges. Like if you want to buy an old school HEX badge that is on Rarible, then you can message me on Telegram. And I'll be sending out a message to t.me/HEX badge channel today. And if you want to get like the new style ones they were doing on Theta, they haven't been uploaded yet, but that's part of my goals for the show on Saturday. So just join the Theta group. Follow me on Theta now, and I'll put that link in the chat again because it's so important. It's really important for our goals. Cursing like a HEX curse. Yeah. Theta, is it supposed to have the www in there? Weird. Okay. Yep. All the W's. What have I done? Oh, you're fine. Don't worry, Crypto 303. Like, I don't think they're monitoring the chat so much as they're just monitoring what I say. So when I tell you there are some choice words I have for the behavioral economists of the world who are making the world a worse place, you can imagine what kinds of things Maddie says behind closed doors about him, right? Okay, so we learned about that. We learned about HEX badges, taking it to the next level, going to theta.tv/Maddie ALLin. Please join, please. And we learned about HEX Therapy, the topic of interest tonight, other than HEX and all the side talking we did about. Wait, why am I wrapping things up? Do we have? Well, should I go through more tech specs? I feel like we covered the tech specs. We'll go back to them as they develop. I'll probably throw that in on Saturday. That's the next stream I'm gonna do. Is that 2 days away? And yeah, so you'll have more of that to look forward to. Wow, getting first edition HEX badges on Theta on Saturday, and getting more of Maddie's commentary on the new tech specs on the hex.com website. Wow, that seems like a pretty good deal. So we talked about that today. The other thing we talked about, you guessed it, emotional intelligence, right? And so we did the test. We're going to come back to it in the future. So make sure to take it. If you haven't taken it yet, I would recommend it. It will increase your emotional intelligence just by taking the test. Again, okay. And what else do you want to see in the future streams? A deep dive into behavioral economists on a future stream and why they're so bad. I would love to. And it'd be good because they have such a reach and influence. Yeah, I'm going to blow them up in the hashtags too. I just hope they don't hear about HEX before everybody else does. So with that being said, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you listening on 1X so you can get the information first. I appreciate you all listening on 1X as a replay. And I appreciate all of you listening on 2X, 4X, and all the other mad X's that you're going on because you're used to getting many X's in HEX. And so with that being said, I'm gonna play my 30-second trailer one more time, and then I'll say goodnight. Thank you so much for joining me today on this awesome stream. And remember, stake wisely, my friends. I'll see you next time. Good night.